Uh, Already mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect. Let me go to my main camera. Ta. Alright, we're live. And guys, as you guys can tell by the title and thumbnail, today I'm going to be working over pure virtual function in C++. Last stream, I did go over virtual function in C++. That said, let's go to my gameplay screen. Okay, let me just mute it from everywhere. There we go. Ta-ta. Okay, perfect. Let's say something like, let's say I'm live. And guys, I didn't have time to, whatchamacallit, fix my background behind. I didn't like tell you guys I'm going to fix it next stream. That said, okay, let's see if everything's going good in my stream. There we go. Okay, listen up, chat. Before that, I'll just do that. There we go. Okay, listen up, chat. Your pupil is back in the arena, ready to face the next greater beast of C++. Today, we're not just writing mere code, we're crafting abstractions, the highest form of programmer magic, okay? The master has failed more times than the beginner has ever tried, said by Stephen MC Crane. Is that how you pronounce the name? That said, and that's exactly what we're going to do here today. Falling forward, learning harder, and rising stronger. Today's mission, pure virtual functions. This, my pupil, is where your code stops being just functional and starts being philosophical. Okay, let's begin. Now, listen carefully, pupil. A pure function is a function that has no implementation in the base class and it forces derived classes to implement it. Okay, give me a sec, guys. Let me just hydrate my lips real quick. I feel like my lips are way too dehydrated these days. Okay, that said, in simpler terms, a function that exists only as a promise, a blueprint saying any class that inherits from me just creates its own version of this function. This makes the base class abstract, meaning you cannot create objects of it directly. It's like defining a law of all subclasses must obey. Here's how it looks. So we create a class called shape with a pure function. Okay, virtual void function called draw. Wait, what's the difference between that? Zero makes it pure. Okay, notice that equals to zero. That doesn't assign it. That doesn't assign zero. It tells the compiler. There's no definition here. There's no definition here. Okay, every class inheriting from shape must define its own draw method. Alright, for example, I create a circle class that inherits all the public content from my shape class. Are you gay? Honestly, guys, I'm not gay. I'm actually pretty straight. That's like many of you guys do say that almost in like every single stream. That's it, guys. I'm actually not gay. Okay, that said, I publicize everything and I go with something like void draw method that overrides everything inside my method. Okay, and then I create a square class as well. Void draw, alright. Okay, and then in my main function, I create, let's say, a pointer for my shape 1, which is set to the memory address of my circle class. And then I go with shape 2, which is my square class and memory address. And then I go with S1 draw, S2 draw. You're gay, guys. I'm actually not gay. That said, I go ahead and delete everything as well. And then output drawing a circle, drawing a square. Okay. Key points to remember, a class with at least one pure virtual function is called abstract class. You cannot make objects of an abstract class. Derived classes must implement all pure virtual functions or they'll be abstract as well. Okay, are you Indian? Honestly, I haven't like visited India yet. That's it. I am someday really excited to visit. I might stream myself there. That's it. Hi, Nick. I appreciate you joining this stream. Okay, that said, pure virtual functions makes your design flexible and extendable, perfect for game systems, plugins, or AI behavior trees. Oh, honestly, I feel like I think I know what that means. You can think of them as templates for behaviors. Your base class defines what must exist, not how it should work. Let's check if you grasp the foundations before we start practicing. Okay, let me say something like, should say, in that case, it looks the same as a regular virtual function. What's the difference? Question mark. Okay, let's see. Okay, does the zero change anything? And when do we use a regular virtual versus? Okay, when do we use regular virtual functions versus? Let's see. Okay, versus pure virtual functions. Okay, let's see. Let me check if my kick stream's going good. Honestly, I don't like open kick. Okay, let's see. Good, you're thinking like a programmer now, people. You're absolutely right to notice they look almost identical, but Okay, both use the virtual keyword, both involve overriding, and both allow polymorphism, but that little equals to 0, the tiny speck of syntax changes everything. It transforms a regular virtual function into a pure one. Think of it like this. A regular virtual function says you can override me if you want, but a pure virtual function says you must override me or face my wrath. Oh, I see. Okay. That actually makes sense. Okay, let's break it down clearly. So regular virtual function has a definition body in the class. Derived classes may override it, but don't have to. You can still create objects of the base class. Okay, I think I see the difference. Okay, pure virtual functions has no body, just equals to 0, forces every subclass to implement it. The base class becomes abstract. You can make its objects. Okay, I see. Virtual void make sound equals to 0. Now, if you do something like animal a error, the compiler yells at you because make sound doesn't exist. Lol, bro, didn't fall for it, guys. I actually didn't see the chats, my bad. Okay, that said, you must define it in derived classes, class dog, public animal, and then I go with something like public, make sound, override. Okay, honestly, that does make sense now. It does make sense, guys. Okay, when to use each regular virtual functions when you want to provide a default behavior that subclass can change. Example, a base character might have a default attack, pure virtual functions. When you want to create a rule of interface that all subclasses must follow. Oh, okay. Guys, I think I'm ready. Hey, knock. Okay, that's it. Let me say something like, let's say, I feel like I understand, ... Can I get a question now, question mark? Guys, I think I'm honestly ready for the question. Okay, so question 1, abstract blueprint challenge. You're building a game engine that needs a base class called entity. Each entity in your world must be able to update itself every frame and render itself on the screen. I think it's proud. I appreciate you joining the stream. What's your PC's graphics card? 4060. Honestly, guys, I didn't like actually get a graphics card for my PC. That said, I did like whatchamacallit. I'm using the default one that is embedded in the motherboard. That said, I did record myself actually building my PC. I'm really close to like editing the video, and then I will definitely upload it. Guys, kind of excited for that. Okay, that said, you want to make sure that every derived class like player, enemy, NPC must implement both update and render. Okay, you also want to give them a shared ID, which is an integer that gets printed. Okay, so your task, write the class for entity that stores ID. Okay, has a constructor that takes ID, has a virtual destructor that prints entity destroyed ID, declare two pure virtual functions, update and render. Okay, I think I see, guys. Let me get sensei/ChatGPT here real quick. Honestly, yeah, let me get it right there. There we go. Okay, let's scroll all the way up till I see the instructions. There we go. Okay, and guys, this is the code from last stream because I didn't have time to work off stream whatsoever. That said, let's go ahead and delete this. And let me honestly start off by including a pair of ankle braces. I want to include IO stream. I'm making a calculator. Honestly, it does sound pretty cool. Okay, that's it. So let's see the instructions. So it says you're building a small game engine that needs base class called entity. So let's go ahead and create a base class called something like entity. There we go. Okay, then I'll add a pair of curly braces. Now my entity class, each entity in your world must be able to update itself every frame. Wait, hold up, guys. What does Sensei mean by update? Let me actually say, like, I don't think the instructions are that clear, guys. Hold up, let me just extend this from here a little bit, and then extend that from here as well. Okay, let me check if it's actually working. Okay, there we go, that looks good. Okay, wait, let me say something like, let's say, I feel like the instructions were a bit vague, question mark. I honestly haven't worked with, let's see, with game engines, so I don't know how the update or render works. ... That said, can the can the instructions be clear, question mark? Okay, maybe I'll add a comment that says I didn't wanna use caps ... Okay, the caps was a mistake, guys. Okay, good. That's exactly what a small pupil does. Question before building code, before blindly coding. Listen carefully. I'll make it perfectly clear. Okay. I mean clear. Okay, I think this is clear enough. Okay, so it has one protected variable, has a constructor of entity created. Entity created ID. Honestly, I haven't worked with stuff like this. Okay, let's copy that. Let's paste it. Go with Shift Enter and say something like, let's say, I haven't worked with the ID keyword question mark. Okay, cool, but it's too hard. Okay, honestly, I feel like calculator is pretty fun. Depends, like in like Python, one of you guys did say me there's like a a function called, I think it was something like enal or something. With that function, we could like create a calculator in like one line. I do have a shot of that in my channel. That's it. Good, you're paying attention, people. That's how C++ masters tell. Huh. Okay, let me say something like, let's say, can I get another question at a maybe lower level question mark? Guys, because I feel like I didn't learn about the keyword. Okay, where do you live? Honestly, I used to answer that question much. That's a many of you guys did say me to avoid answering that, so I try avoiding that these days, guys. Okay, this instruction feels much better. Okay, you're making a shape, simple shape hierarchy, create a base class called shape, has one protected member called name, has a constructor that takes string as parameters, and sets name has a virtual destructor that prints shape destroyed. Okay, declares a pure virtual function called area that returns area. Okay, let's get Sensei slash ChatGPT here. Guys, I think I might be able to, solve this, because I might know what to do here. Okay, let's get Sensei all the way there. Okay, now let's get the instructions up here. Let's scroll all the way down. Okay, there we go. Alright, so let me start off by changing this class name to something like shape. And then inside of my shape class, I'm going to be creating one protected data member called, let's say name, which is going to be a standard string. So I'm going to go with something like protected. Okay, and then let's go ahead and create a data member, which is going to be a standard string of name ending with a semicolon. And then I got to create a constructor for my, for my class. So I'll go ahead and publicize everything. Add a comment that says something constructors. Bro, is graphics designing hard? Honestly, I haven't like tried graphics designing. That's it. I might actually someday go into that. But honestly, I did want to actually either get a major in like cybersecurity or like AI engineering. But I do feel like graphics designing is kind of fun as well, because I did like hear a lot about it. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and create a constructor for my shape class. I'll go with a pair of parentheses. My shape class's constructor does require one parameter, a standard string of name, and then I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Now, inside of my constructor, I'm going to initialize my data member, so I'll do something like this name data member equals to my name parameter, ending with a semicolon. I think yes, Prater, appreciate you joining this stream. Okay, that said, I gotta create a virtual destructor that prints shape destroyed. Okay, so let's go ahead and add another comment that says something like destructor. Okay, and this is going to be a virtual destructor, so I'll go with something like a tilde operator. This is going to be saying something like, honestly, should I go with virtual first? So I could go with something like the virtual keyword and then a tilde of my shape class. Okay, so I created a virtual destructor that says something like shape destroyed and my shape's name. So I could go with something like a standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like shape destroyed. Okay, and then I'll go in a new line, add another insertion operator of my name data member with a forward slash new line ending with a semicolon. Howdy Arva, I appreciate you joining this stream. Okay, howdy Nick, I appreciate you joining this stream as well. Okay, next up, I gotta declare a pure virtual function called area. So let's go ahead and add another comment that says something like methods, because I'm assuming the functions basically inside of classes are called methods. So I'm going to be creating, let's say, a virtual method. So I'm going to be creating, let's say, a virtual method, a virtual void method called something like area. So I'll go with something like area, add a pair of parentheses, and then a pair of curly braces. Although I might actually set it equal to 0, ending with a semicolon. Okay, so this is considered a pure function. Maybe I add a comment that says something like pure function. There we go. Okay, so that is my pure virtual function. And then remember, a pure virtual function means you can only declare it. Okay, so let's go ahead and end this with a semicolon. Okay, yeah, you saw it also. Try learning C#, but I just stopped. Oh, honestly, many of you guys did recommend me to start C#. I honestly might start it. But we have a computer class right now, but I know more than my sir. Honestly, guys, that actually does make kind of sense, because like I do go to college too, and like most I do go and like study everything at home. That said, Was this like the only instructions, guys? I didn't even declare anything. I'm assuming I gotta create another class. So let's go ahead and create another class. For example, rectangle. There we go. My rectangle class does inherit all the public content from my shape class. And then I'm going to add a pair of curly braces. Now, inside of my rectangle class, I'm going to do something. Let's go ahead and firstly publicalize everything, okay? And then I could honestly, let's say create a constructor. So I'll go with something like a constructor. For my constructor, I'm going to be creating a constructor for my rectangle class. Honestly, it might require two data members. So firstly, let's go with something like private. Okay, I'm going to be creating two private data members, which is going to be integers. The first is going to be something like length. The second is going to be width, ending with a semicolon. Okay, now when I create a constructor, my rectangle class's constructor does require two parameters. First is going to be integer of length parameter. The second is going to be integer of width parameter. Okay, so are you in college or did you finish? Honestly, I am a freshman in college. That's it. I didn't like take any programming courses. That's it, bro. I was just scrolling through shorts and thinking I haven't seen you in a minute. Honestly, that being said, guys, I feel like I should stop saying honestly. I've been saying honestly so much. Okay, that said, before I go with something like length and width, I might go with something like a standard string of something like name. There we go. Okay, now let's go ahead and initialize my data members. So I could do something like, let's say this length data member. So I'll go with this, a arrow operator. This length data member is going to be equal to my length parameter ending with a semicolon. And then I'll do something like, okay, let's go with something like this. Width data member equals to my width parameter ending with a semicolon. And honestly, that's pretty much it. And guys, I feel like I did cover almost everything in object-oriented programming, so I might start with, I might start with SDL really soon, guys. Okay, Jesus Christ loves you. He died at the cross to pay the price for your sins, and prose again in the third day, repeat. Repent on your sins and turn him before it's too late. Guys, I think I'm so awful at reading because like my monitor is kept so far away. Okay, that said, let's go ahead and create, honestly, I'll create a few methods now. So I'll go ahead and add a comment that says something like methods. Okay, alright, next up, let's go ahead and do something. You're so close to your sub goal, good luck. I appreciate you, Arb. I appreciate you guys so much for that though. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a void method. So I'll go with something like a void area method with a pair of parentheses that overrides all the content of my area method from my shape class. This is going to do something. What is the area of a rectangle? I think it's length times width. So I'm going to be creating, let's say, a total variable or like an integer of area variable, which is going to be equal to my length data member multiplied by my width data member ending with a semicolon. Okay, and then let's go with something like a standard console output with an insertion operator. That is going to say something like your area is. So I'll go with another insertion operator of my area variable with a / new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, that's honestly pretty much it. Let's go ahead and end my class with a semicolon. Now let's go ahead and create a main function. So I'll do integer main, add a pair of parentheses and then a pair of curly braces. Okay, I'll stop. I already subbed. I appreciate you out for that. Okay, that said, let me go ahead and let's see. Inside a main function, I might honestly create an object from my shape class. So I'll go with something like shape. Okay, do I want to convert this to a pointer? I don't think I'll like need this to, I would want to convert this to a pointer because I just have like one shape. I could actually try it. So I'll go with a pointer of a shape object. Okay, ending with a semicolon. Next up, I'm going to do something like, let's see, my shape object. Okay, should I convert this? Should I make this an array? But there's just one item, so I might actually just go with my rectangle class. Okay, honestly, yeah, let's just create an object from my rectangle class. So I'll go with something like rectangle, a pointer to my rectangle object. There we go, ending with a semicolon. Now I'm going to do something like my rectangle object with a arrow operator. I want to display my area method ending with a semicolon. Okay, lastly, let me go ahead and return 0. Now, if I were to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Do I have like an error somewhere? Guys, why do I see an... okay, I don't think I have an error. Okay, if I were to run the code, let's see what happens. Okay, there is apparently an error. No matching function to call shape. Okay, so apparently, oh wait, did I add a constructor? Oh, I didn't add a constructor for my rectangle. My bad, guys. No wonder there was an error. Okay, let's add a pair of parentheses. I require a name constructor, so I'll go with something like, I don't know, maybe name is going to be Tom. Okay, and the length is going to be something like 5, and the width is going to be 10. Okay, now let's go ahead and end this with a semicolon. Wait, is this even like correct? Okay, so my constructor requires 3 parameters. Why is there a red underline here? Okay, this length equals to length. Did I do something wrong here? Oh, I forgot to create a constructor for my, whatchamacallit, for my shape class. My bad, guys. Okay, let's go ahead and add a colon and create a constructor for my shape class as well. My shape class does require 1 parameter of name, so I'm gonna go with name. There we go. Okay, guys, that should fix all the errors now. Okay, honestly, I might go with something like name. I'll go with name, add another insertion operator of an empty space. Honestly, I'll just go with something like name. There we go. Okay, your area is... Okay, bro, I love the hassle of seeing your live every single day. Kind of motivates me to learn C#. Honestly, that does make so much sense. Good luck learning C#. I eventually might start C# as well. Because, like, many of you guys did say me to, like, actually learn C# too, because it is a pretty good language. Okay, that said, I create a rectangle this class. So, okay, now everything is correct, right? So, I added my constructor, I created methods, I even overrode my method. Although, why can't I add parameters here? Let's see. Maybe because that is a pointer. I don't need a pointer. Okay, let's go with something like dot. Okay, now if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Okay. So, you're crazy coding. Honestly, where, guys, isn't anything like displaying or something? Hold up, let me check if any other tab is open in VS Code. Oh, there we go. Tom, your area is 50 shape destroyed, Tom. Okay, perfect. Now let's go with the Control-C copy that gets into /ChatGPT here. That said, guys, I feel like I need like a little harder questions because like I feel this is like pretty easy. Bro, how can I ever get a job when people are so good at coding like you exist? Guys, I feel like I'm awful at coding. Like many of you guys do like, whatchamacallit. You guys do help me a lot sometimes when I mess up and stuff. So guys, I feel like I'm kind of worse at coding. Okay, let's say something like, let's say, this question was honestly a bit easy, ... That said, can I get a question that consists of... Okay, let's see, what out of my question want to consist of? Okay, let's just make this a little bigger. Okay, guys, I should fix my typos. My typos are awful. Okay, that consists of, let's say, user input to while loops. So user input while loops, maybe for loops as well, and then should I go with arrays? I'll go with something like arrays, maybe vectors as well. Okay, what all, guys? Maybe I'll go with something like constructor, destructor, and then virtual functions, pure virtual functions, maybe a diamond question as well, ... where one class, actually where two classes inherit from one class, then the fourth class inherits from the two classes, if that made any sense, ... Maybe something, okay, let's just end this. Okay, now you speak like a true warrior pupil. You won the final boss of object-oriented programming concepts, the Diamond of Doom combined with inputs, loops, arrays, and virtuals. Excellent, you shall bleed the code tonight. Listen carefully, here's your battle order. Create a program about magical creatures where there is a base class called creature that stores a standard string name, data member, a constructor that takes a name if your virtual function called void display power, a virtual destructor that prints when a creature is destroyed, two classes, fire creature and water creature, inherit publicly from the creature class. Do a random dance. Guys, I think I'm awful at dance. The only dance I did know was like from the Stray Kids' group called like Case 142. It's like, what do I keep? Guys, I don't want to get copyrighted, but that said, that was like the only dance that I do know a little. That said, guys, I feel like I'm not much of a dancer guy, although I was like a brown belt in like Kung Fu, so I do know Kung Fu moves, guys. That said, both must have constructors calling the base class constructor. Each implementation displays power, okay, in its own fiery or watery way, okay. Then a hybrid class called steam creature that inherits from both fire creature and water creature. This will form your diamond inheritance, okay. You must use virtual inheritance for fire creature and water creature, okay, from creature. Otherwise, chaos will ensue. Is that how you pronounce it? Ensue. My bad, guys. Okay, stream creature should override the display power method again to show its unique hybrid strength. Then in our main function, ask the user how many creatures they want to create. Use a vector of creatures, which is going to be a pointer. To store them, let the user choose which type of fire, water, or steam for each creature and give it a name. Use a loop to create and store creatures dynamically. With new, use another loop to call display power for all of them, then properly delete them all, triggering Destructor's bonus challenge. Okay, Ronaldo or Messi? I mean, honestly, guys, I actually like Ronaldo a bit more than Messi, but guys, I don't like watch soccer slash football in general. That said, I do like actually prefer Ronaldo, guys, but I do like Messi too. It's like I prefer Ronaldo a bit more. Okay, that said, add a static integer counter in the creature class that tracks how many creatures currently exist. Increment in the constructor and decrement in the destructor. Are you making Pokemon but fan-made? Pokemon, honestly, guys, I'm not actually making Pokemon. That said, my mic does have like a Pokemon sticker in, if you guys can like see this properly. Okay, that said, print the console out, print the count after each creation and destructor. Can you solve the lead code daily question? Honestly, I did like I'm like really excited to like actually solve lead code. That said, I did like save lead code for like a new series where I'm gonna have like a whole playlist grinding lead code. I've been holding myself back for that, guys. That said, hi, howdy, sir. I appreciate you joining the stream. This problem fuses virtual inheritance, abstract classes, constructor slash destructor, dynamic memory, memory vectors, and loops all into one inferno of logic. You can write this perfectly without tears. You'll have stepped into the upper ranks of object-oriented programming. Okay, let's get some Say slash chat GPT here. There we go, right there. Okay, and then let's get that all the way up. Hello from Morocco. Hiding Lord, I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, let's go ahead and scroll all the way up to the instructions. That said, I'll go with Control A and delete everything. Now let's zoom in a little. Okay, now let me start off by including a pair of ankle braces. I want to include IO stream. There we go. Okay, and then let's read the instructions. So I gotta create a base class called creature. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and create a base class called creature. So there we go. With a pair of curly braces, creature. There we go. Okay, my creature class is going to be having a protected data member, which is going to be name, and that is going to be a standard string. So I'm going to go with something like protected data member of standard string of name, ending with a semicolon, and then I'm going to go ahead and publicize everything. Now, inside my public, I'm going to be creating a constructor that takes name as a parameter. So let's go ahead and create a creatures as constructor that requires a parameter of name, which is going to be a standard string. Okay, now let me fix my typo real quick. There we go. And then I'll go with a pair of curly braces to initialize my data members. So I'm going to do something like this name data member equals to my name parameter ending with a semicolon. Had to go back now. How you doing, Orb? I appreciate joining the stream again or like rejoining the stream. Okay, that's it. I gotta create a pure virtual function, okay, that displays power. So let's go ahead and add a comment real quick that says to say constructor. Honestly, it's not like necessary to like add a to add comments, although it is a pretty good habit. Like when the code gets real big and we go back to the code, it is a pretty good habit to like add comments. That said, I'm gonna add a comment that says something like methods. Okay, now for my methods, I'm gonna adding Frock, is that how you pronounce your name? I appreciate you joining the stream as well. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and create a pure virtual method. So pure virtual, let's say void method called something like display power. So I'll go with display power. So, and then I'll add a pair of parentheses, which is going to be equal to 0. There we go. Ending with a semicolon. So this is a pure virtual function. Okay, next up I'll add another comment that says something like destructor. I'm going to be creating a virtual destructor. Let's go ahead and use the virtual keyword. There we go. Okay, now for my virtual destructor, I'm going to be using the tilde operator and typing my creature class. There we go. and then a ladder pair of parentheses with a pair of curly braces. Okay, did I spell creature wrong? There we go. Okay, now inside of my destructor, I'm going to be displaying something like, let's see, virtual destructor that prints when a creature is destroyed. So I'm going to add a standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like creature destroyed or destroyed. Okay, destroyed, I'll go with an insertion operator. This is going to be my name data member with a / new line ending with a semicolon. For example, if my name is Tom, destroy Tom. Okay, perfect. There we go. Okay, next up, I gotta create 2 derived classes, so let's go ahead and end this class with a semicolon. And let's go ahead and create a derived class called Fire Creature. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a class called Fire Creature. Okay, and my Fire Creature class is going to be inheriting all the public content. My friend is like really good at C#. He's the only reason I tried C#, and he makes games in Unity that actually sounds really cool, guys. I did want to use Unity so bad, but like many of you guys did say C++ uses Unreal Engine and not Unity, so that did disappoint me a bit, guys. But I'm actually like, once I'm actually done with object-oriented programming, maybe from next stream, because I feel like I did cover all the topics. Is there like something called duck typing in C++? Because I remember there were like duck typings in Python. For example, it said something like, if it quacks like a duck, it looks like a duck, it is a duck, or something like that, guys. That said, I might actually start SDL before going to game engines, because I feel that is like the basic game engine. Although I was kind of excited for Vulkan as well, but many of you guys did say me that Vulkan is like really hard at the beginning because you gotta do everything from scratch. Okay, that said, I gotta create 2 classes. First is Fire Creature, and the second is Water Creature. So I'm gonna end this class with a semicolon. Let's go ahead and create another class called something like Water Creature. Okay, that does inherit all the public content from my creature class as well. And then a ladder pair of curly braces. Okay, now let's scroll all the way up. Did I spell my creature wrong? Oh, I should remove the colon. Okay, now inside of my class, both must have constructors calling the base class constructor. Okay. Would they need to have like, whatchamacallit, attack methods? Each implements display power on its own fiery or watery way. Okay, so I think I don't need any private data members. You write game in C++. Honestly, I haven't like started creating games yet. That said, I am like really close to the day 50 of my C++. Maybe once I do hit this day 50, I'm going to spend the next 50 more days learning STL. I'm kind of excited for that. Where are you learning in C++? Honestly, I'm just learning the basics of C++ before I do actually start working with engines, because I don't want to like have like strong foundations if I do something, or later I might have to come back and like learn the old stuff, guys. So I like prefer to actually cover all the concepts first. Okay, that said, let's go ahead and publicize everything first of all. There we go. And then I'll add a comment that says something like constructor. Okay, now for my constructor, I'll create a constructor for my Fire Creature class. Although my Fire Creature class constructor doesn't require any parameters. Okay, so I could go with something like Fire Creature, add a pair of parentheses. It doesn't require any parameters, so I'm going to create a constructor for my creature class. What up, guys? I think it might require a parameter of name, which is going to be a standard string of name. Okay, I'm going to get that in a new line. Okay, this is going to be something like, okay, my creature class's constructor does require a parameter of name as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and end that with a semicolon. Honestly, I think it needs to be ended with like a pair of curly braces and then a semicolon. There we go. Okay, I mean, why? You teach well, great. Honestly, I feel like I teach kind of bad. That's it. I was trying to improve as well because I do want to make a lot of tutorial videos for you guys eventually. That said, guys, I don't know my basics first. Once my basics are pretty good, I might actually make a lot of tutorial videos. That said, I mean, why? Oh, why are you learning C++? Okay, I'm honestly just like learning for the basics because like I did like have a programming for 258 series where my goal by the end of that series is to make a game in general that consists of AI logic in it, and since I thought that I was making a game, might as well learn C++, which is like the best language for making games. Okay, that said, let's see. So next up for my water creature class as well, I gotta publicize everything. Although before I do publicize them, I gotta each implement display power in its own fiery or watery way. Okay, so let's go ahead and add methods first. So I'll go with something like methods. There we go. Okay, for my methods, I'm going to be creating a method called, let's see. Okay, I'm going to create a void method called something like display power. Display power. Okay, and since my method is exactly the same as the method from the class that I'm inheriting from, like the display power, I am going to be using the override keyword to override the content inside of it, so the compiler isn't confused about like what do we actually use or like which method to call. That said, this method is going to be having a standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like uses okay, actually I'll say something like has flamethrower. Okay, guys, is flamethrower like one word? Has flamethrower available? There we go, guys. I don't think I spelled it correct. There we go. Has flamethrower available with a /new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, are you going to create the game by these applied codes? Honestly, I'm just learning these codes for the basics. Once I am done with each code, I just delete it and I go on to the new code. That's it. When I do make games, I am going to be like, whatchamacallit, just getting an idea, then like making that on my own. Okay, that's it. Hiding Enderman, I appreciate you joining this stream. Are you going to? So it's just a hobby. Honestly, I think that makes the most sense. What program do you use? Honestly, I am like using C++. That said, let's go ahead and do the same thing now for my water creature class as well. So firstly, I'm gonna go ahead and publicalize everything, and then let's go ahead and add a comment that says something like constructor. There we go. Okay, for my constructor, I'm gonna do something. Let's go ahead and create a constructor for my water creature class that does require a parameter of name, which is gonna be a standard string. Do you like furries, guys? Apparently someone asked me that exact same question yesterday, guys. I feel like I don't like have any comment on furries, guys. I'm like not a furry. Okay, AVAILEBLE. Did I spell it correct? AVAI. Oh, guys, I spelled it wrong. There we go. Guys, I feel like I'm awful at spellings. I should work more on my dictionary. What are you making, man? Honestly, I am like learning the basics of C++. That's it today. I'm actually covering about pure virtual functions in C++. That said, I'll go with something like creature, add a prof parentheses. My creature class does require parameter of name as well. Then I'll go with the prof curly braces ending with a semicolon. Okay, hiding Clippy, I appreciate you joining the stream. What are you making? Honestly, I'm not like making something specific. I'm just like working on the basics of C++. That said, let me go ahead and add a comment that says methods now. Okay, for my methods, I'm going to be overriding a method. So I'm going to create a void method, which is going to be having something like a display info. There we go. With a prof parentheses. And now since the class that I'm inheriting from does have this exact same method, I will be overriding the content of it. So I'll go with something like override and then add a prof curly braces. Now I'm going to be adding a standard console output with an insertion operator. I think I spelled this wrong. There we go. Okay, constant standard string name. Oh, I should actually start using the const. Okay, what is your take on NeoVim or Vim? Honestly, I haven't used that. That said, many of you guys did like say me to try that. I might actually try that. Oh, it's display power. Okay, are you from the US? I used to actually say that a lot, guys. That said, many of you guys like did say me to avoid saying that. Okay, for how long do you do C++? Honestly, I have been like working on it for like, I think it's been 48 days today or like 44 days or something like that. Okay, no, he is India. Honestly, guys, I have never been to India. That's it. I am kind of excited someday to visit India. Okay, that said, I'm gonna say something like has, let's say, water pulse available. I'll go with something like has water pulse available. Did I spell it correct this time? AVAILABLE. There we go. I think I spelled it correct. And then I'll go with a / new line ending with a semicolon. Maybe I like uppercase that. There we go. Water pulse flamethrower. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and read the next instruction. So now I gotta go ahead and then create a hybrid class called stream creature that inherits from both fire creature class and water creature class. This will form your diamond inheritance. Okay, you must use virtual inheritance for fire creature class and water creature class from creature, otherwise chaos will ensue. Okay, so let's go ahead and create another class called something like steam creature. So I'll go ahead and create a class called something like steam creature. Okay, and then another pair of curly braces. Now inside of my stream creatures class, actually before I add a pair of parentheses, I will be inheriting from a few classes. So I'll go with something like a colon. Okay, you should really use NeoVim, but only if you can touch type. Honestly, I haven't like heard of touch typing. Okay, No, I will not give you Visa gift card number Pajit. Guys, actually, what does that mean? Is that like a joke? Okay, never seen a coder doing live before. This is new and good. Honestly, it does make sense, guys. I like whatchamacallit. I rarely see people actually programming while this thing, so I thought that would also be like a pretty good idea. Because like many people can like ask questions live as well, guys. I can't wait. Like someday when I'm really good at coding, I could like answer so many questions. That sounds so fun, actually. Okay, that's it. I am going to be inheriting all the public content from, let's say, my fire creature class. There we go. And then let's go ahead and go with something like water creature class as well. Okay, next up I'll go with the pro of curly braces. Okay, so stream class, public, Okay, now inside of my class, okay, this will form a diamond formation. You must use virtual inheritance for fire creature and water creature. Although before that, I will be publicizing everything. Maybe add a comment that says something like a constructor. There we go. Okay, now inside of my constructor, I'm gonna do something. Let's see, what are you doing? Honestly, I am just learning the basics of C++. That's it. I'm working with like pure virtual functions. Okay, can you type without looking at the keyboard? And yes, what's your typing speed? Guys, I actually haven't checked my typing speed. I feel like I type really slow. Do you code in Java too? Honestly, maybe after my C++ series, I might actually start Java series as well. Or like after my programming for 250 series. That said, okay, let me try typing without looking at the keyboard. So, okay, so I create a constructor for my stream class. So I'll go with something like stream creature. Okay, guys, I don't think I can type without looking at the screen. There we go. Okay, guys, I think it's a bit hard to type without looking at the screen. Okay, oh, I think it's Steam Creature, not Stream Creature. So let's go ahead and copy that, paste it here. Okay, my Steam Creature class is going to be consisting of one parameter, which is going to be a standard string of name. And then I'll go in a new line, add a comma, and add a constructor from the classes that I'm inheriting from. Since I'm inheriting from my fire class, I'll go ahead and call the fire creature classes constructor that requires a parameter of name. And then I'll add a comma and even add a constructor for my water creature class because I am inheriting from my water creature class as well. That said, I'll add the parameters of name because that's the only parameters that the constructors take. And then I'll add a pair of curly braces ending with a semicolon. Okay, next up, let's read the next instruction. Okay, so you must use virtual inheritance for fire creature. I think I did that. And then, okay, you must use virtual inheritance for fire creature. Oh, wait, hold up, guys. For fire creature, I must use virtual inheritance. So, should I create a virtual constructor? Okay, I think that would make sense. Okay, I don't think that makes any sense. Okay, let's go ahead and remove that. Virtual inheritance. Oh, okay, hold up, guys. My bad. I actually remember. So, I'll go with something like, for my fire creature, this is going to be something like virtual. There we go, virtual creature. Let's do that for my water as well. So I'll go with something like virtual. Okay, brother, are you just copying code from another screen? It doesn't seem like you're coding on the fly. Honestly, guys, I do like have an instruction like off stream. Like this was, I mean, in the other screens. Let's see, guys. I mean, I did already read this up for you guys. Let me just go ahead and go down, zoom in, scroll all the way down. There we go. Okay, let me just zoom in a bit more. So basically, this was my instructions. Like, I do instruction-based questions. That's it. I didn't like show this before I actually code. So basically, I'm currently in this part where I gotta create right here. After creating stream creature, you must use virtual inheritance for fire creature and water creature from the creature class. Otherwise, chaos will ensue. I'm actually using that, guys. Okay. Why you have Indian accent? Honestly, do I actually? Because like that actually sounds kind of cool, guys. I do like want to learn like multiple accents, honestly. I feel like I just know one accent. Okay, that's said. Let's get Sensei / ChatGPT here. Okay, let's get Sensei back up here. Guys, it's so hard to like set Sensei back in the next screen. There we go. Okay, how can you not type without looking at the keyboard? I started typing so fast without looking at the keyboard. 8 years old? That's actually so cool, guys. Okay, brother, are you just copying? You should train typing. It will make coding much more faster. That actually does make sense. Okay, you're using it to give you problems. Gotcha. And guys, I feel like the other reason why I can't type is because my keyboard is like massive. Can you guys even see the keyboard? Like, I feel like my fingers are too small for the keyboards. Okay, that said, I go with something like virtual creature and like virtual water creature and fire creature. Let's read the next instruction. Okay. I forgot where was I. There we go. It says you must use virtual, otherwise chaos will ensue. Stream creatures this class should override display power again and show its own unique hybrid strength. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom in a little. And why does it show me a red underline here? Okay, fire creature does require one parameter. Water creature does require a parameter of name as well. And then, should I like not go with the pair of curly braces? Okay, steam creature. Okay, it doesn't inherit. Okay, this should be virtual. There we go. Okay, so I go with something like virtual. And then steam creature. Is it like a virtual class? Guys, did I mess something up? ADSCOC. Can I even code? Why are you jealous? Can I even code? Honestly, guys, I'm actually not jealous. Okay, that said, I created a water creature. I did create a constructor, didn't I? Okay, that's for my fire creature. That's for my virtual creature. Did I miss something? I have Python tutorials on my page, lol. I just like making sure I'm not watching BS. Glad to know this guy is legit. Honestly, that does make a lot of sense, guys. Okay, that's said. Let's scroll all the way down. Okay, I gotta create a virtual. Okay, so let's see. So both constructors must have this thing. Okay, fire creature, water creature. Then a hybrid class that inherits from both fire and water. This will form a diamond inheritance. You must use virtual inheritance for fire creature and water creature. Okay, I used a virtual inheritance here. Okay, and I used one there as well. Should I go with something like a virtual class here as well? Does that make sense, guys? Okay, I don't think that makes sense. Okay, I'm actually a software engineer. Oh, that actually sounds so cool. Hey bro, how did you start? I also want to start C++. Honestly, whatchamacallit, in my like channel, I do like have a playlist of like C++ for like about like 100 series. There, if you guys go like to my last ever video, that was the first ever time I did start C++. I did go over all the basics. That's it. Many of you guys did help me with that stuff. Okay, so what I do inherit. Okay, honestly, let's go with the controller control C real quick. Let me get sensei/ChatGPT. Because like I feel like I did everything correct. I still see like a red underline. That's it. Let's go ahead and extend that. Maybe zoom in a bit. There we go. Let's go all the way down. Paste. Let's go with Shift Enter and say something like, let's say I haven't written the whole code yet. Although I feel like I messed up a bit. Question mark. Guys, I feel like I messed up a little. Okay, that's it, people. You've dared to enter the diamond, but you've still stumbled out the gates. Alright, let's dissect your creation before it explodes from ambiguity hell. Okay, first you actually did most of it right, but there's 3 critical issues I want you fixed. You forgot to inherit from creature class virtually using the correct syntax. Virtual creature. Did I spell virtual wrong? Okay, but it must specify virtual public. Oh, that's... Okay, I see. So I gotta go with public as well. Honestly, I didn't know about that. Oh my god, these spelling, guys. I feel my spelling is awful. Because like, when I try typing fast, I feel like I make more mistakes. There we go. Let's go ahead and... What up, guys? Let me just shrink this a little. Because it doesn't fit in my second display. Because I have like 2 charts open in that. Before, I used to use like 3 displays. That's it. Like the new PC that I did build, that... Whatchamacallit, I feel like it's almost impossible to add 3 displays. So I like have an empty display kept in the side here. Okay, that said, okay, no wonder I made a mistake. So I gotta virtually and publicly inherit everything from my creature class. I'll do the same thing here. I'm gonna virtually and publicly inherit everything from my creature class as well. Okay, what was the second thing? So far you're standing on solid ground. It's a big concept. Okay, okay, virtually and publicly. Your stream creature inheritance is slightly off virtual creature stuff. Okay, you don't need virtual again here, so apparently I don't need virtual again here. Okay. Okay, so fix that to public. So I want to inherit all the public content from my fire creature class and then all the public from my water creature class. Okay. And then, guys, let me actually show you guys what I'm reading. I don't like always extending this though. Okay, that said, let's go ahead and extend that real quick. So let's get this pic from here. There we go. Are you interested in Linux? Honestly, guys, I did want to actually get Linux. That said, whatchamacallit, I didn't want to actually risk it because like I did install Windows. So, like when I did whatchamacallit, build the PC, there was like an option. I could either get Linux or like Windows's operating system. That's it. I went with Windows because I had like less time and I did have to install like OBS, DaVinci. I didn't know if like those things can those things could install in Linux. 45 more sub for our goal. I appreciate you guys so much for that. What stacks do you use, Boogie? Stacks? Honestly, I do use edge. Is that like considered like a stack, guys? Okay, your Steam creature. Okay, so I virtually did that, but I had to publicly inherit instead of virtually. Does not override display. Okay, so display. Guys, I feel like I did everything correct in that case. Steam creature. Is the spelling correct? Okay, let's try typing the spelling again, because guys, most mistakes come from spellings only. Okay, Steam creature. That has a red underline. Okay, Steam creature. Let me go ahead and copy that. Steam creature. What up, guys? There we go. Let's go ahead and type C, and now go ahead and copy that. Okay, that's correct. Something is still messed up. You're actually entertaining, not like most coding streamers. Guys, I feel like I'm too boring. That said, I didn't want to learn like a few jokes. I did like look up a joke to make the stream more entertaining. One of the jokes were the knock-knock jokes. I felt those were like way too silly. Okay, why do I get like whatchamacallit? A red underline here. I wish that they would actually show me the error that I got. Maybe they could actually. Let's go ahead and run the code. When you already has some class that implement other, no need to inherit from other due to duplicate. Oh, you should install an extension for VS Code called Error Lens right now. Oh, that actually does make sense. Okay, and that also made sense. Like, if I do just inherit from one class, I feel that would do the work. Like, that would like do the trick, because like my one class does inherit from both classes, right? Okay, let's go ahead and delete that. Okay, I feel it's still the same exact error. Okay, let's go with that. Okay, I hope C++ is not your first language, bro. Honestly, Python was my first language. That's it. I feel like it's not that different, like syntaxes aside. That's it. I'll go with Control C again. Okay, let's get C/ChatGPT back up here. There we go. Let's go ahead and paste. Let's go with Shift Enter and say something like Sensei. Something still feels wrong. ... question mark. Huh. Okay. Guys, honestly, I can't read Hindi. Like, I can't even like whatchamacallit. I can like speak a little Hindi. That's it. I haven't like learned how to read it. So could you guys like whatchamacallit, either translate it or something? Okay, error lens can make understanding errors better. Guys, honestly, after this stream, I actually might look into that. Okay, the bait thing I could do with C# is type something like hello world. Oh, that actually sounds pretty cool. Okay, people, I see the problem snapping at your heels. You're so close to perfection, but Steam creature consists in a constructor still in danger territory. Here's the thing, because both fire creature and water creature inherit virtually from creature class, Steam creature itself must call the creature constructor directly, otherwise the compiler won't know how to initialize. Okay, didn't I call the Steam creature constructor? I did call it. That is not enough. The compiler will complain. Constructor for Steam. Okay, in that case, I gotta call it creature constructor. Okay, guys, that was actually kind of stupid, because I do remember doing this like, I think like 5 streams ago. Yeah, I'm Indian, but I don't know any Hindi. I'm also from Kerala. That actually sounds pretty cool though. That's it, guys. I do want to eventually learn how to like read and write Hindi. That said, I can like kind of speak, but I'm not as fluent in it. Okay, that what I talk to you about? Okay, you'll be a man, you jackass. Guys, I feel like I'm really close to being a man. My birthday is on January 5th, and I turn 18 that day. Okay, please just install it right now. It's easy and will make everyone's life better. Honestly, I would actually install it. That's it. I do like gotta watch a few tutorials on it. Okay, that's it. I'll go ahead and create a constructor for my creature class. With a pair of parentheses, my creature class does require a parameter of name as well. Guys, thinking about it, this was kind of stupid, because like, there we go. That makes so much more sense. Although my stream creature does have a red underline now for some reason. Didn't like that fix, like, shouldn't that have fixed all the error? Okay, it says constructor, so I go with something like Steam creature. Notice how creature name comes first. That's the virtual base initialization. Also, don't forget to override display Steam creature will. Okay, I did get the looking handsome today, guys. Honestly, I feel like I don't know how to reply, guys. I feel like I'm kind of bad with whatchamacallit, with compliments, guys, because before I did like upload that in my shorts as well. Someone was like, why didn't you act as a model? Then I'm like, oh, okay, that's it. Although I will appreciate you, Pikachu. That actually means the world to me, guys. What's with your accent, ew? Guys, I feel this is the only accent I can speak in. Okay, that said, you can just open the extension window and search for lens errors. Honestly, I might watch a few tutorials on it after the stream as well. Okay, so I create a constructor right here. Okay, constructor from my stream creature. What's up with your accent? You sound super annoying and it's hard to watch. Honestly, you guys could like actually mute this thing because like I feel like mostly I do like do the stuff that I say. Feel like you should be swapping stream creature to and creature. Honestly, I don't think so because this is the main constructor and these are from the classes that I'm inheriting from. Huh, the class should be creature. The class should be creature. Honestly, whatchamacallit, the first constructor that we added, this should be our class's constructor. Then after the colon, we go with the class that we're inheriting from. I feel the constructor is correct. Something is wrong here. Did I end that with a semicolon? I think I did. You need to start using compilers because it has good description of errors. Honestly, I might like install that next stream. Okay, isn't Steam a type of creature? Honestly, it's not like specifically a type of creature. It's a type of... Actually, never mind. I think it is because whatchamacallit, my fire creature and water creature does inherit from my Steam key, from my creature class, and my Steam creatures class inherits from the two classes that does inherit from my creature class. So technically it is. Okay, you're not annoying to watch. I do appreciate your orb. That actually means a lot to me, guys. Okay, let's see. I go with fire creature, water creature. Okay, let's go with the controller control C again real quick. Okay, let's get Sensei/ChatGPT here. There we go. How are you doing, Mr. Universe? Okay, I appreciate you joining the stream. That's it. I'll go with like a control V and say something like Sensei. Okay, I feel like something is still a wrong question mark. I did almost everything correct. Guys, I honestly can't see where I like messed up. Override function of display. Would that fix that? Because I could actually override it. Okay, oh I see. I didn't see the other methods above. Oh, I see. How can I speak English like you? Honestly, I feel like the more we speak, the better we get. Plus, like, I do live around a lot of people who like do speak this accent. So, like, we eventually do get like a grasp of it. But I feel like even if it does sound fake at the start, if you do want to actually learn an accent, even if the accent does sound fake, the more you like constantly speak in that accent, eventually it does become like a muscle memory and it is like your actual accent. Because guys, there's like a quoting that I heard. It's like you gotta pretend to be someone. So like if you pretend to be real smart, you are actually smart, guys. That said, yes, people, you're hovering on the edge of glory. You fix the virtual base constructor call. So diamond is no longer Okay, so apparently I think the only reason that I am getting an error here is because I didn't add my comments. Let's go ahead and try that. So let's go ahead and add another comment called something like methods. Okay, using error handling tools over ChatGPT will genuinely help you learn. Honestly, I will actually try that for next stream. I was gonna say your spelling got better. Honestly, did it? Okay, bro, just speak naturally. Fake accent sucks, guys. This is actually my actual accent. Okay, let's go with something like methods. No way when last class it requires because you have virtual inheritance. Bro, please give me resources that help me to learn English. Honestly, I feel like I actually have never thought about any resources to help English. That's it. I feel like the more you talk, the better you get at it. Okay, compiler did not understand what need to call first. Ah, I see. Okay, for our methods, let's try creating a one method called something like display power. Okay, and was it called display power? Okay, it was. So I'll go with something like display power. Okay, which overrides. So I'll go with something like which overrides. There we go. My display power function overrides all the content. Did I spell it correct? Let's go ahead and copy that. Okay. Actually, I forgot how to put parentheses. There we go. Oh, that actually fixed. Okay, so we needed to add a method. No wonder it was having that error. You have two classes, compile it and understand which needs to call first. Oh, I see. Okay, guys, this actually makes so much more sense now. So I did like learn a new thing, honestly. It's like whenever my constructor is correct and my class has a red order line, it's because I didn't add a method. Bro, I want to learn Python course, but I'm confused. Honestly, I haven't used courses to learn so far. But I feel someday when I start assembly, I might need a course, guys. Because I feel ChatGPT can't like actually teach assembly. Fact check me, guys. I do need to like look into that. That said, I'm going to be adding a standard console output here with an insertion operator. This says something like, okay, what attacks do stream creatures have? Steam creatures have? I think maybe something like, I don't know, maybe Steam Shot or like Steam Pulse. Okay, I could go with something like Steam, or should I go with name? Has Steam Pulse available. So I'll go with something like has Steam Pulse available. There we go. And then I'll go with a / new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, are you coding a game right now? Honestly, I'm not like actually working on a specific game. That said, I am going to start using SDL really soon, guys. Kind of excited for that. SDL is basically like Pygames but a C++ version. That said, hiding learning English. I appreciate you joining this. I appreciate you joining the stream. So now called Power Creature. Says display power on the override function. Oh, I see. I feel so dumb right now because I don't know C++. Maybe a bit because of C#. Honestly, I mean, I don't think like you guys are considered like dumb if you guys don't understand the language because you guys haven't like learned it completely. That said, what you call it, you guys should like watch the first every time I did go over my C++'s video, guys. I feel like I was the whole definition of being dumb at it. Okay, that's let's get some /ChatGPT here. I need the next instructions. Thanks, bro. I'll give you my subscriber as a gift. I appreciate you so much, Mr. Universe. It actually means the world to me. You're going to be using a game engine with making a game, right? Honestly, I'll like see by the end of my programming for 250 series, if I did like master SDL, then I will actually go with either Vulkan or maybe Unreal Game Engine. Okay, what are your thoughts on AI taking over? Guys, many of you guys did lose the motivation to like code because you guys think AI is going to take over. That said, I do agree AI can like take over the junior devs, although it is going to be really hard to take over the senior devs or like someone who's proficient in their job because AI does like critical thinking. It can like think like how humans do. So I feel like AIs wouldn't be able to take humans' job unless AI is like really, really good, guys. Because like if a human is really proficient at his stuff, I feel AI can like take over it. What do you mean? Are you gay? Honestly, guys, I'm not gay. That said, are you gay, guys? I get that every single stream. I'm actually pretty straight. Okay, that's it. Let's read the next instruction now. Let's scroll all the way up to the instructional questions. Okay, let's go all the way up. Okay, there we go. Okay, so it says to create a hybrid class called Steam Creature. I did that. Has a display power method. I did that. I even overwrote it, and now I gotta end my class with a semicolon. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and create a main function. So I'll go with something like integer main, add a pair of parentheses, and then a pair of curly braces. Now, inside of a main function, I'm gonna ask the user how many creatures they want to create. Okay, maybe I go ahead and create an integer of ask variable. And then let's go with something like a standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like how many creatures do you want to create? Do you want to create? There we go. Okay, and then I'll end that with a semicolon. And then let's go with something like a standard console input with an extraction operator. This is going to be my ask variable ending with a semicolon. Okay, and then use a vector of creature to store them. Okay, since I am going to be working with vectors now, I should honestly go ahead and include a pair of ankle brackets or ankle braces. I want to include vectors. So let's go with something like vector. Okay, perfect. And now let's scroll all the way down. How can I learn AI? Honestly, if you're like interested in like learning about AIs and like machine learning, I would recommend Python because Python is like the best language for learning AIs. Okay, honestly, guys, I'm not gay. Honestly, I'm actually not. Okay, that said, okay, use a vector of creature to store them. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a standard vector. Okay, with a pair of ankle braces. My vector only consists of my creature class's object to store creatures. So I'll go with something like my creature class with a asterisk for a pointer. My class is going to be called something like creature box. Okay, or honestly, I might go with something like creatures. There we go. Ending with a semicolon. Okay, should I honestly add it equal to and add my creature? No, I think my user is going to do that. Let the user choose which type, fire, water, or steam for each creature and give it a name. Okay, I'm assuming I gotta use a while loop now for this. So I'll go with something like a while loop, while my ask variable, so while a pair of parentheses, while my ask variable is greater than 0, which it would be, I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Okay, you can't. Now good only pointers. Huh. Now good only pointers. Honestly, can I use a pointer here? I'm pretty sure I could, like, to like point towards the specific creature that my user enters inside of my vector. Okay, that said, I'll go with a while loop. Okay, use a while loop. Let the user choose which type. Okay, so I could go, honestly, all the way up here. actually under my creature, so maybe I go ahead and create another variable. Actually, I won't create a variable. Above my while loop, let's go ahead and add a standard console output. So I'll go with something like a standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like, I don't know, maybe, okay, let's say something like, okay, three types of creatures. There we go. Okay, I'll add like 3 hyphens here. Okay, and then 3 hyphens here as well, guys. This is just for decoration. That's it. I'm going to go ahead and end this with a / new line ending with a semicolon. And then I'll add another standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like fire creature. Okay, let's go with something like fire creature. Okay, and then I'll go with a / new line. And then let's go ahead and add something like water creature. So I'll go with water creature. And then I'll go with another / new line and add a steam creature. Steam creature. There we go. Let's just zoom out a bit. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and that with a / new line as well with a semicolon. And now, while my ask variable is greater than 0, I'm going to do something. I got to ask the user which. You say honestly way too much. Honestly, that does make sense. I should actually stop saying honestly, guys. Okay, what are you actually doing? Honestly, I am like learning the basics of C++. Today I'm working on the pure function C++. That said, okay, you're with honestly stuff. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and scroll all the way down. Use a loop to create and store creatures. Okay, so let the user choose which type of fire creatures to do. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and create a variable here, something called a standard string variable. Standard string. I might actually add this outside my loop, so let's add this variable outside my while loop. So I'll go ahead and create a standard string of something like creature name. So I'll go with something like creature name. Okay, ending with a semicolon. There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like, what creature do I want to actually create? I might have to add that inside my while loop though. Okay, let's add that inside and see. Okay, so let's say something like enter a creature name. Okay, and then I'm gonna end that with a semicolon and then add another standard console output with an insertion operator that gets the value for my creature name ending with a semicolon. Now let's add a bunch of if statements. I'll use something like if a pair of parentheses. Okay, I'm gonna do something like if my creature name, okay, is equal to something like fire creature. Okay, I could go with something like fire. Then I'm gonna do something. I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Okay, where are you from and see. Honestly, I used to answer much, but many of you guys did say me to avoid saying that. Chat being rude for no reason, guys, actually does make sense. What's your nationality? Guys, I do think like many of you guys did like say me to avoid saying those stuff, so I did like try avoid saying those stuff. Okay, that's it. Do you have any plans okay, to go more into low-level programming? Honestly, yeah, I do actually want to start learning assembly as well because I feel like that is like the lowest level of programming. That's it, guys. My lips is like kind of shedding. Okay, that's it. Can you guide me? I learned Python to go to QA testing jobs for or Java. Okay, can I learn Python to go in QA testing jobs? Honestly, I haven't like heard of QA testing jobs. That's it. If the job is like related to something like AI, then I would like recommend learning Python. That's it in general. If you like actually are planning to start programming, I would recommend Python because it is like a pretty easy language. And once you know the basics, you can like move on to some other languages. That's it. You guys could like actually try a language that you guys actually do prefer and like even like research a little on Google or something to see which language is good for a certain job. Are you like a skilled programmer? Guys, I'm a complete beginner. That said, so I'm guessing you don't have Discord. Honestly, I do have like a whole Discord server. You guys can get access to it by typing exclamation Discord on chat. That said, I feel like my Nightbot isn't working. Let me actually try. Let's go with something like exclamation Discord. Okay, I hope that actually works. Okay, but the problem is I don't have time. Honestly, that does make sense. Okay, guys, let me actually, copy my Discord server's link from here real quick. Okay, where's the member invites option? Okay, maybe I go. Guys, I actually forgot. It's been so long since I've like used Discord, like to to actually invite people like through the actual app. Okay, that's it. I could like try it on my phone. Give me a sec, guys. Let me go ahead and copy that. Okay, let's go all the way here. Okay, let's go ahead, go there, go with never, generate link. Let's go ahead and copy that. Okay, I think this link should work, guys. Let me go ahead and paste it in chat. There we go. Okay, you gonna collab with someone? Honestly, eventually I do want to like collab with whatchamacallit different programmers, and eventually like whatchamacallit have a good series where like we do actually work on projects. That's it, guys. I feel like right now I just like hold them back because I am pretty beginner, guys. That said, okay, let's go ahead and do something now. Okay, so I create a creature name. So if creature name equals to fire, I gotta create a object for my creature class. And since my whatchamacallit vector is of creatures, I could go with something like my creatures is vector. Okay, let's go with something like equals to or dot push underscore back. I want to push back something. Let's go ahead and push back my fire creature variable. I'll go with something like new fire creature. There we go. Okay, can I do this? Okay, this isn't an array. If it was an array, I wouldn't know how to do it for an array. Although it's kind of complicating for okay, let's see. My creatures is vector dot the push underscore back. I'll add a pair of parentheses here. Okay, my creature requires a parameter of name. The name is gonna be something like, I don't know, maybe guys, what is a fire creature name? I'll go with something like Charizard. There we go. Okay, I go with Charizard, ending with a semicolon. Okay, perfect. Honestly, I might go with something like my fire creature. So I'll go with something like my fire creature. Okay, maybe I go with something like, should I like go with a for loop? Actually, let me go with a for loop real quick. So I'll go with something like for a pair of parentheses. I'll go with an index-based for loop. Okay, to do a to-do app in assembly, that actually sounds pretty fun. Okay, that's it. I'll go with something like for every integer of I which equals to 0, you should do Rust before even thinking about assembly. That actually does make sense. I was like saving assembly for like another time as well. Like once I'm actually pretty good and understand programming, that's it. I will like explore different programming languages and eventually see the one that I enjoy the most, and then I'm gonna like stick with that. That said, while my I is less than my creatures is vector dot the size function, I'm gonna increment my I by 1. So I'll go with something like I plus plus. Okay, and then I'll go with the pair of curly braces. Now I'm gonna do something like creatures. My creatures is vector at index of I, and then I'll use an arrow mark operator to display my creature power with a pair of parentheses to invoke the function ending with a semicolon. I'm assuming what my creature dot size. Maybe I could go with something like creatures at index of fire creature. Could I go with that index of fire creature? Okay, honestly, can I do something like at index of fire creature? Would that make sense, guys? Fire creature. Okay, that doesn't make sense. I think I should go with I. Huh. There we go. Okay, does this make sense? I feel like I'm missing something. What happens if I actually name this to something like fire creature? So I'll go with something like fire. Okay, that wouldn't make sense. That does. Okay, honestly, in that case, I create creatures. Once I do add a creature, I'll go with something like here, and then say have something like a standard console output. So let's go ahead and delete that. Okay, I'll go with something like a standard console output with an insertion operator. Okay, I leave man because I don't understand C, and you're doing great. You got a new subscriber. I appreciate you, Ram. I guess I'll catch you in the next stream or like whenever I do something that I actually enjoy watching. Okay, that's it. I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like fire creature added to inventory. Okay, and then I'll go with a / new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, that actually sounds much better. Next up, I'll go with an else if. So I'll go with something like else if. I'll add a pair of parentheses. Actually, a pair of parentheses. This is gonna say something like if my creature name is equal to, let's go with something like water. Then I'll go with a pair of curly braces and do something. I'm gonna go with something like my creature name dot my creatures is vector. Okay, dot the push underscore back function. I want to push back something. I want to push back a memory address of my let's say water creature this time, of my water creature. Okay, and then I'm gonna name this something like, guys, what is a water creature's name? Maybe I go with something like Blastoise. Guys, I don't know any other water creature's name. And then I'm gonna go ahead and end that with a semicolon, and then add a standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like, okay, let's change it to Charizard. Okay, I'm gonna go with something like Charizard. Okay, Charizard created and added to inventory. And then I'm gonna do something like Blastoise. Okay, Blastoise created and added to inventory. There we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, next up, I'm gonna go with a / new line ending with a semicolon. In case you guys couldn't see it, let me just zoom out. Okay, you should also invest in a better keyboard as soon as you make enough money. Honestly, eventually like in the future, I might actually get like a new keyboard. I feel like, guys, does this keyboard even like feel like it's a good keyboard or something? I know it is pretty huge, although which keyboard would be better? I do have like another keyboard here that is like, this is the basic size of the keyboard, like right here. That is like a pretty small keyboard, although compared to that, this is pretty big, guys, like if I compare these sizes here. Okay, which keyboard would be better off like actually using, the minier one or like the bigger one? Because I feel like the bigger one does feel like it's like bigger, so isn't like bigger better? Okay, that said, okay, and then let's add another else if, so I'll go with something like else if, I'll add a pair of parentheses. Okay, howdy KV Cooks, I appreciate you joining the stream. That said, if my creature name is equal to let's say Steam, then I'm gonna do something. I'll go with the pair of curly braces, and then go in my creatures as a vector dot, let's say, the push underscore back function. I want to push back, let's say something like a new Steam creature. My Steam creatures is class with a pair of parentheses. The Steam creature is going to be called something like, guys, I don't know Steam creature's name. Okay, hi, how doing, Bill? I appreciate you joining the stream. You should get a mechanical keyboard. Honestly, I haven't like heard of that. Okay, it's good to use switch statements as soon as you need to use multiple if-else if. Honestly, that does make sense. Yesterday, I did like think about using switches, but what if you guys did say me, if you like use switches, we cannot like have strings. We must like have integers. That's it. I did like learn about switches. I should go over it. Your English is so fluent. I appreciate you. Alfred, is that how you pronounce your name, guys? Hi, what are we doing today? Honestly, today I am working on pure virtual function C++. This honestly might be the last stream for my object-oriented programming series. I might go over SDL from now on. Guys, honestly, I might actually see about that. Guys, I don't know a name for a stream creature. Maybe I'll go with something like Gas. Okay, stream creature name is Gas. I'll end that with a semicolon. And then let's add a standard console output with an insertion operator. Let's end that with a semicolon. And then a standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like Gas created and added, okay, to inventory with a / new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, hi KV Cooks. Hi, what are you programming? Honestly, I'm just working on the basics of C++. That's it. Today I'm working on pure, I forgot what was the content name. It was pure virtual function C++. That's it. It's free to change gender. Oh, I see. Okay, what makes you comfortable, brothers? Saying okay, what makes you comfortable, brothers? Something with good economics is always great to save in your hands in the long run. Honestly, guys, I think I almost have like no idea on that stuff. Okay, that's it. You're actually growing fast. I appreciate you. Oh, 67 likes. I appreciate you guys so much for that. Okay, that's it. Let's read the next instruction. Use a loop to create and store creatures dynamically with new. I did that. Use another loop to call the display power for all of them. So let's go ahead outside my for loop, I'm assuming. Okay, honestly, I might have another else if, so I'll go with something like another else if to check if my user types something like exit to end the loop. Okay, honestly, I don't think I might need an exit. I might just go with something like else a pair of parentheses. Okay, else a pair of curly braces. I'm gonna say something like standard console output with an insertion operator. This creature does not exist. Okay, then I'll go with a / new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, let's go ahead and end that with a semicolon. And then I'm going to add another standard console output with an insertion operator. That's going to say something like Okay, attempts left. Attempts left is gonna be, I'll go with another insertion operator, my ask variable ending with a semicolon. Okay, with a forward slash new line, and then I'll end it with a semicolon. Okay, that's honestly pretty much it for my while loop. I'm gonna go ahead and go under my while loop. Okay, now I create a for loop. So let's go ahead and do something like for a pair of parentheses. It is going to be an index-based for loop. I'm really looking forward to seeing you do Rust. Honestly, I am like really excited for Rust as well, guys. Okay, let's say for every integer of I which equals to 0, while my I is less than my, let's say, I forgot the name. My creatures is array. Okay, my creature objects is array. Actually, my creatures is a vector. Dot the size function. I'm gonna do something. Let's go ahead and increment my I by 1. So I'll go with something like I plus plus. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add a pair of curly braces. And now let's do something. This is gonna be a semicolon. There we go. Okay, now inside of my for loop, I'm gonna do something. So I'm gonna go with something like my creatures at index of I is gonna be pointing towards my display power data member ending with a semicolon. Okay, let me go ahead to add a standard console output here. So I'll go with something like a standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like current, okay, or something like creatures is inventory. Creatures is inventory. There we go. Maybe I go with like a few hyphens just for it to look good, and then a forward slash new line ending with a semicolon. I'll add 4 hyphens here as well, honestly. Okay, perfect. So I use a for loop for that, then properly delete them, triggering all destructors. Okay, so just to save time, I honestly might copy the for loop and then paste it all the way here. And inside of my for loop, instead of changing something, let me just delete that part. There we go. Okay, instead of having an arrow mark operator that displays my power, I'm going to use the delete keyword. So I'll go with something like delete creature. There we go. Okay, perfect. Lastly, let's go ahead and return 0. Okay, I'm a YouTuber too. I just do gaming. Oh, that actually sounds pretty fun. I used to actually do a lot of gaming videos. That said, I didn't think like programming would like help me even in the future. Plus, it's like a good content idea, so I did move on to programming as well. Because guys, I remember I spent about like 5 years playing a game and like making videos on those. I should have I like sometimes think I should have started programming sooner. Although other times I do think that it's honestly the same thing. Okay, that said, I'm glad I actually did because like there were so many different experiences that I got with those. I didn't like even start an AMV in my chat, but then I deleted the AMVs, guys. A lot of copyright. Okay, that said, why did I get like a whole window here? Let me go ahead and close that window. Now it should have appear here. How many creatures do you want to create? Let's say I want to create 3 creatures. Okay, that creature does not exist. Let's go ahead and delete that. Let me run the code again. Okay. Okay, this says how many creatures do I want to create. Any Java devs here? Guys, I can't wait to start JavaScript soon. Okay, how many creatures? Okay, wait, let's go ahead and delete this real quick. When I ask how many creatures do I want to create, that is going to be 3, while my ask is more than 3, greater than 3. Oh, my bad, guys, I forgot to decrement it by 1. I gotta go with something like I minus minus. Ending with a, actually, my ask variable is going to decrement by 1, ending with a semicolon. Okay, now for it controllers to save the code and run the command. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's going to say how many creatures you want to create. I want to create 3 creatures. Fire creature, water creature, steam creature. 3 types of creatures. Enter the name for a creature. This creature does not exist. Attempts left 3, attempts left 2, attempts left 1. Okay, it says this creature does not exist. I should ask which creature. Okay, why doesn't it ask this this question? Enter a creature name. Okay, wait, let me run the code again, guys. Did I mess something up? Let's go ahead and delete it from there. Let's go with something like I want to create 2 creatures. These are the 3 types of creatures. Enter a creature name. Why does it say this creature does not exist? I didn't even type a creature's name. Wait, did I like creature name variable that is a standard string equals to fire, water, or steam? Okay, so first I did get the value of this. Okay, honestly, let me go with something like, let's see. What happens if I delete this? That's an else clause. This creature does not exist. Okay, honestly, let's go with the controller control C, copy that. Let's get some C slash chat GPT here. Cause I feel like I honestly did everything correct. That's it, let's go ahead and extend that. There we go. Can then extend it from here as well. Whoops. There we go. Let's go ahead and extend that all the way from here. Do stat. Wait, did I use a standard console input? No way, guys. Please don't tell me I didn't do that. There we go. Standard console input with an extraction operator, guys. There's no way I actually forgot that. That's actually awful. Instead of console input, instead of console output, guys, I actually did. That's okay. That actually felt kind of bad, honestly. I should have actually paid attention. Okay, that's it. Now for it controllers to save the code and run the command. Let's see what happens. Okay. How many creatures? I want to create 3 creatures. Enter a creature name. I'll go with something like fire. Okay, Charizard created, and then I'll go with something like water. Water created. I want to go with water again. Okay, my inventory, flamethrower available, has water pulse available, and has water pulse available. These are for my Blastoise, and destroy Charizard, destroy Blastoise, destroy Blastoise. Okay, if I were to go with control C to copy the code, let's get some chat GPT here. Okay, guys, that was actually awful, but no way I actually forgot to no way I forgot to add standard console input. Okay, that's it. Let's go and zoom in a little. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and paste this here, go with Shift Enter and say something like, say, the code works, although I don't take credit for it because my stream helped me ... Although I feel like I do understand how this works now. Okay, so let's see. Yes, people, look at you. You've conquered the diamond inheritance, virtual functions, pure virtual functions, vector loops, and dynamic memory. Even if your stream lent a hand, you build the mental framework. You understand why each piece exists and how it all interacts. That is real power. Let's celebrate this. Let's celebrate the truth you just unlocked. Virtual inheritance solved the diamond problem. Okay, pure virtual forced you to implement display power. Vector plus new slash delete gave you dynamic memory inventory control. Loops plus user input lets you summon, create like a master summoner. Now you have the foundation of polymorphism in C++ and at your fingertips. Remember this line, people. The code you understand is the code you blend to your will. Okay, was it actually said by Sarah Sensei, guys? Did someone else say that? That's sad. What the? Okay, here's a big reward for your grand kisses, hugs, and a massive head pat for being brave enough to face the diamond problem and survive, guys. It did not make me blush. That's the next step. If you want, we can add states like health, attack, and make battle happen. And the creature interacts dynamically. That's where it gets really fun. Do you want to take that to the next level, people? Honestly, let's say something like, yes, sensei. Guys, I feel like I'm ready for that question. Okay, that's the spirit, people. Alright, now we're stepping into the arena of battle mechanics. This is where your creature actually fights using their power, health, and attack stats, all while keeping your mastery of object-oriented programming, vectors, and polymorphism alive. You're looking nice without chasm. Is that how you pronounce it, without chasm? Honestly, although I do appreciate you, Preet, is that how you pronounce your name? That said, here's your next instructional challenge task. I gotta create a battle arena, update the creature class, add integer health, default class is 100. Okay, what are you actually doing, bro? Just learn creating a 2D game. Honestly, that does make sense. Once I do start SDL, I will actually work on making a 2-dimensional game. That's it, but make a game. Honestly, I should actually, make a game. That's it, I go ahead and go with something like integer attack, default 20, update constructor to take name, health, and attack. Display power is pure virtual. Okay, so these are the parameters. Each derived class, fire creature, water creature, steam creature, overrides display power to show name has power health with attack power left. What up, guys? There we go. Okay, fire creature attack bonus plus 10, water creature health bonus plus 20, stream creature attack plus 5, health plus 10. Then in the battle loop in our main function, I gotta ask the user how many creatures to create and which type, just like before. After creation, display all creatures, then enter a battle loop. Let the user select 2 creatures by index. Creature 1 attacks creature 2, subtracts attack point from creature 2's health, print updated health, loop until the user types exit. At the end, delete all dynamically created creatures. Proper destructor message should be, this will force you to use constructor destructor carefully, apply polymorphism dynamically in battle, manipulate vector loops and arrays. What up guys, there we go. Okay, see the effects of inheritance and virtual function in real time. Okay, chasm pronounced as chasm. Oh, that actually does make sense. Okay, okay. Oh, charisma. Oh my god, guys, I can't pronounce. Okay, it's charisma. That actually makes so much more sense. Okay, people, this is where you see living code interact with their decisions. That said, let's get sensei/chatgpt here. There we go. Maybe let me just decrease the size in my other monitor so I can like see the chats as well. I mean, it is a bit hard to like just with like 2 monitors. That said, I think this is like pretty handy as well. Okay, that said, I'm gonna go ahead and type Control and delete everything. That said, let's start off by including a pair of ankle braces. I want to include IO stream. There we go. Okay, and then I go all the way down. Let's read the instructions. So it says, task create battle arena, update the creature's class, add integer health, update the, wait, hold up guys, Sensei said to update the creature's class. Let me just scroll all the way here and say something like, okay, let's zoom in a bit. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say something like, Sensei, I want to create it from scratch because I deleted the code ... Okay guys, I didn't want to write that part in caps. That's it. Yes people, that's the okay, so update. Huh. What up guys? Okay, task 5 in the main function. Oh, okay, I think these instructions are pretty clear. That's it. I didn't want something like this. I just wanted it in words. Let's copy this part, paste it, go with shift enter and say something like, Sensei, I just want the instructions in words for the code. Okay, that said, you can tell me what output should I display. Okay, let's see. Alright people, I'll give you plans and words. Okay, there we go guys. Cause like so let's scroll all the way down. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's even lower. What up guys? Okay, let's scroll all the way up. Huh. Okay. Okay, I'll give you the plan in words, not just code. So number 1, I gotta create a creature base class that has name, health, and attack, data members, okay, and then a constructor that takes damage, that takes name as a parameter, optional health and attack, your virtual function, output exam when destroyed, okay, example when destroyed, jars are destroyed, fire creature inherits virtually, and then I gotta do this output, and then water creature inherits virtually from creature constructor calls creature constructor, adds health bonus plus 20, okay, name has water pulse, health, attack, okay, Blastoise has water pulse, health, okay, stream creature. Oh, it went from 200 views to 2 views. Guys, actually does sound pretty fun. That's it, inherits from both fire creature and water creature constructor, must call creature constructor directly to fire and water constructor, adds attack plus 5 health, okay, display sprint, okay, the name has steam blast, health, attack, example output, gas has steam blast, health 130, attack 35, main loop instructions, ask the user how many creatures they want to create, show options, fire, water, steam for each creature, ask for water to okay, I think I see guys, and then that's the battle loop and all that stuff. 7, clean up. Okay, let's get Sensei/ChatGPT here. Okay, maybe just shrink it from there. There we go. Okay, now let's go all the way up. There we go. Let me start off by creating a base class. So I'll go ahead and create a base class called something like, let's see, creatures. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a base creature class with a pair of curly braces. Now my creature class is gonna be having a few protected data members. Okay, the first protected data member is going to be name, which is going to be a string, health and attack are going to be integers. So firstly, I'll go with something like a standard string of name ending with a semicolon, and then a integer of health and attack. There we go. Okay, ending with a semicolon. And then let's go ahead and publicize everything. Now I'm going to add a comment that says something like constructors because I do want to create a constructor. For my constructor, let's create a constructor for my creature class. So I'll go with something like creature. Okay, and then add a pair of parentheses. My creature class's constructor will be requiring 3 parameters. Okay, so the first parameter is going to be something like name. The second parameter is going to be something like... Okay, I might just go with something like the name parameter. I might not need, health and attack because I want my user to actually display those on their own. Why you gay? Honestly, guys, I'm not gay. I'm like pretty straight. That said, I'm going to go with something like a standard string of name. The second one is going to be something like integer of health. Okay, let's zoom out a little. There we go. I'll go with... Should I go with health? Okay, I think I can go with health. Okay, and then add a comma and integer of attack as well. There we go, attack, Okay, and then I'll go with a pair of curly braces to initialize my data member. So I'm going to go with something like this. Let's say name data member equals to my name parameter ending... Excuse me, guys, ending with a semicolon. And then something like this health data member equals to my health parameter ending with a semicolon as well. And then lastly, I'll go with this, let's say attack data member equals to my attack parameter ending with a semicolon. Okay, and that's pretty much it for my constructor. And then I gotta create a pure virtual display powers method. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a comment that says something like methods. Now for my methods, I'm going to be creating, let's say, a virtual method because like all my classes will be using it. That said, my other classes would display or would have to even like update these methods. That's the reason I'm adding virtual so the compiler doesn't get confused. Like many methods have these, many classes that inherit from each other have the same method name. Okay, so I'm going to go with something like a virtual void method called something like display. Okay, display power. There we go. With a pair of parentheses and then a pair of curly braces. Okay, bro, why are you doing all this? Should solve some CF problems or IC will automatically teach you all this along with math, logic, DSA problem solving. Honestly, that does sound pretty cool. Although I do, I'd like to like go from the complete basics. Like when I do start something, I am like completely dumb, guys. So I prefer going. I prefer to like take tiny steps from like the very basics and eventually work my way up. I feel like that works. Like that is like the best thing. That is like the best way that actually does work for me. Okay, that said, warrant using namespace std. Honestly, the reason I'm not using namespace std is because many of you guys did say me eventually in bigger projects, like not prefixing with standard can cause like name conflict. So it's a pretty good practice to avoid using namespace std. Okay, that said, I go with something like a virtual void display power method, which is going to be having... Actually, this should be a pure method. So instead of adding a pair of curly braces, I'll just set that equal to 0, ending with a semicolon. This is a pure virtual function now. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a destructor now. So I'll add another comment that says something like destructor. And now for my destructor, I'm going to create a destructor that prints something like destroyed names. So I'm going to go ahead and create a virtual destructor. Okay, with a tilde operator that says something like... it's a destructor for my creature class. Okay, it's called creature. It's a destructor for my creature class with a pair of parentheses and then a pair of curly braces. Okay, what up, guys? I think I closed my chat real quick. So there we go. Okay, you don't actually need the basic. Nobody does, to be honest. Huh. Okay, do smart work, bro. Only hard work is not enough. Honestly, I feel like they both like eventually do end up in the same place. That's it. It'll be very helpful for you. Oh, I see. I can actually try that. If someone else, why can't I see other comments? Oh, the short stream. Honestly, I do have like multiple streams because like the vertical one is like for people to know that I am streaming, and the horizontal one is like if you guys do want to see the whole code that I do, just learn STL and start solving problems. Honestly, I am actually gonna start learning STL like really soon, guys. I'm like very close to starting that. That said, I'll go with something. Go ahead and create a virtual creature class. Okay, this is gonna consist of something. Let's see. I might go with something like a standard console output with an insertion operator. My destructor is going to be saying something like destroyed. Okay, I'll go with something like destroyed, another insertion operator of something like my name data member with a / new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, Ninja, what are you programming? Honestly, I am learning the basics of C++. Today, my topic is about pure virtual functions in C++. That's it. This is like a pure virtual function. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and end my base class with a semicolon. And then let's read the next instruction. Duh. Okay, now I gotta create two derived classes. Are you making a project? Honestly, I could like say like I am like solving instruction-based questions. That said, I do like what you would call it. Do delete these codes, so it's not like a technical project that I do save it up. That said, I do use it like for practice. Okay, so let's go ahead and create another class now. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a class called something like a derived class called, let's see. Okay, this is gonna be called fire creature. So I'm gonna go with something like fire creature. Okay, my fire creature class is gonna inherit virtually all these. So I'll go with something like all the virtual and public content from my creature class. So I'll go with something like creature. Okay, and then a lot of curly braces. Okay, why did you choose C++? Honestly, because I was like, for my programming for 250 series, my goal by the end of that series was to make a game in general, which consists of C++. And since I am planning to make a game, I thought C++ is like the best language to make games, so I thought might as well learn it. Okay, that said, what are you studying? Honestly, I am like learning C++ right now. That said, it's 12 a.m. here. Oh, it's actually 4 p.m. here. Okay, so there's an error, is there? Okay, let's see. Oh, my bad, guys. There we go. Okay, next up, inside my creature class, I'm going to be firstly publicizing everything. So I'm going to go ahead and publicize everything. And then it says inherits virtually from creature class. Did that constructor calls base creature constructor adds attack bonus plus 10. Okay, attack bonus plus 10. So firstly, let's go ahead and zoom in a little. Add a comment that says something like constructor. Now for my constructor, I'm going to go ahead and create a constructor for my fire creature class, which is going to be consisting of, let's say, 3 parameters. The first parameter is going to be a standard string of name. The second parameter is going to be an integer of health, and the third parameter is going to be an integer of attack. There we go. Okay, and then I go with a row of curly braces, okay, ending with a semicolon. Can I go with something like attack plus 10? Okay, before I do go with a row of curly braces and a semicolon, since I am inheriting from the creature class, I will be adding a constructor for my creature class as well. So I'll go with creature class. My creature class does require 3 parameters as well. So let me fix my typo maybe. Creature, there we go. Okay, so my creature class requires a name parameter, a health parameter, and a attack parameter. And just curious, can I do something like attack plus 10? Okay, that does work as well. Okay, then I'm gonna go with a row of curly braces, ending with a semicolon. Okay, what kind of game would you want to make? Honestly, by the end of my programming for 250 series, I was planning to make a game that consists of AI logic. It could be if did you guys like actually play the Archinator game where like you ask Archinator to guess something, they do guess something. That is too advanced. I want to be making something like that. Maybe something like an NPC that where NPC guides you where to go and like you follow that NPC and all that stuff. Guys, I might have to actually look into that. Okay, Ninja, what's your programming? Honestly, I am just learning the basics of C++. Today's topic is pure virtual function C++. Okay, that's it. Let's go ahead and add a comment now that says something like methods. For my methods, let's read the instructions again. Why do you have comments in the code? Honestly, the reason I do have comments in my code is because it is like a pretty good practice to like actually add comments in the code, because like eventually when the code is like 500 or 600 lines, you guys would want to know which topic is for which part, so it's more readable. That's it. I'm going to create a method now. I'm going to go ahead and create a void method called something like display power. So I'll go with something like display power. Okay, with a pair of parentheses that overrides all the content inside of my, let's say, display power from my creature class. This is going to be having a standard console output with an insertion operator. Okay, this is going to display my name, health, and attack. Did I add one for this class? Okay, I didn't, so I'll add one here. I'm going to go with something like name. Okay, display power. Wait, hold up, it says power, so I should go with something like name has flamethrower, health, attack. So I'll go with something like name has, might go with my name data member with an insertion operator. Hi, howdy Pixel, I appreciate you joining this stream. Okay, use next JavaScript, bro. Honestly, I did want to use JavaScript as well. That's it. Good night, bro. See you tomorrow. Honestly, good night, man. I appreciate you sticking through the stream. I'll get you next stream. Make sure to get your 8 hours. Okay, you said you know Python. Honestly, I did have whatchamacallit. I think about like 60 streams on Python on my channel. That said, you kind of zesty, guys. I'm actually not zesty. Okay, that said, hello, sir. May I ask how old you are? Honestly, I am 17 years old. That's it. I am going to be turning 18 really soon, guys. Kind of excited for that. Okay, that said, I think Ayush, I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, so name has flamethrower, so I'll go with an insertion operator that says something like name has flamethrower. Flame. Okay, name as flamethrower, and then I'm gonna go in a new line, add another insertion operator that says health. Okay, so let's go ahead and add a comment here that says space. This is gonna be my health. Okay, so I'll go with something like health, add another insertion operator, my health data member. Okay, and then I'll go in a new line, add another insertion operator. This is gonna be for my, let's say, attack. So I'll go with something like attack. There we go. Okay, and then I'll go with another insertion operator of my attack data member. This time I'll go with a / new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, perfect. And honestly, that's pretty much it for this class. 18, not 19, typo. He's turning 18 on January. That actually does make sense. I'm pretty excited for that. I might not have a special stream, or I might actually do a special stream for that. I can't understand anything, but it's fun to watch. That actually means a lot to be, Ghana, is that how you pronounce your name? Okay, that's it, guys. Let's see. That's for my methods. Next up, I gotta end my class with a semicolon. Should I create a destructor? Honestly, I think I might create a destructor. Maybe not. Okay, let's go in a new line and create another class. So this class is going to be called, let's say something like water creature. So I'll go with something like water creature. And then I'm going to say my water creature class does virtually and publicly inherit all the content from my creature class. And then I'll add a bro curly braces. Hi bro, I'm learning C++. It actually sounds pretty cool, Pixel. Good luck on your C++ journey. Okay, even more zesty now, guys. How do I not talk zestily? I feel like every stream someone like says I sound zesty or like they ask me if I'm gay, guys. I'm actually straight. Okay, that said, water class virtual public creature, and then let's go all the way down. Inherits virtually from creature, still zesty, guys. Okay, I use Ruby and want to learn Golang. Maybe you can try to go with. Maybe you can try to go when you have time. Would help me out, XT. Honestly, that does make sense. I do want to learn Golang. I was pretty excited for that. Maybe after my Java stream, I might, because eventually I do want to learn like all programming languages, then stick with one that I enjoy the most. Bro, just keep yapping, guys. I should actually stop and like focus more. That said, inherits virtually from creature class constructor calls base creature constructor. Okay, so firstly, let's go ahead and publicalize everything, and then I'll add a comment that says something like constructor. Now, for my constructor, let's say I'm going to do something. So I'm going to create a constructor for my water creature class. Okay, that does have a few parameters. So I'll need a standard string parameter. Okay, and then I'll go with something like integer of name parameter and something like integer of health parameter as well. What up, guys? Standard string of name, integer of health. There we go, an integer of attack. Okay, and this is going to be a standard string of name. Alright, perfect. Next up, I'm going to be adding a colon and then creating a constructor for the class that I'm inheriting from. Since I'm inheriting from my creature class, I'll create a creature class constructor. So I'll go with something like creature. My creature class requires 3 parameters: name, health, okay, for my creature class, adds 20 bonus for health. So I'm going to go with something like health plus 20, and then I'll go with something like attack. There we go. Okay, what's the best place to start? Interested in trying to code? Honestly, do you like enjoy whatchamacallit? If you enjoy AI, I would recommend Python, or like I would recommend learning Python in general, because like it is a pretty good language and very beginner friendly. I did start with that. Okay, do you have an AP computer science? Do you have an AP computer science, a course? Honestly, I didn't start any programming course yet in college. I am a freshman. Upcoming prime agent now. Okay, string should be passed by reference. By reference, honestly, should I? I do need to use cons as well. I'm programming my video games. That actually does sound pretty fun, guys. Okay, and then I'll go with the pro curly braces, ending with a semicolon. Okay, next up, let's go down and add another comment called methods. Now, for my methods, I'm going to be, let's see, create a constructor for base class, adds 20% to health. Okay, now let's go ahead and create a void method called something like display power. Okay, with a pair of parentheses, my display power method does override my display power method from my creature class. This is going to be having a standard console output with an insertion operator. Honestly, I might actually copy this part just to save time, guys. Okay, let's go ahead and copy that. delete it, paste it here. What up, guys? Let me go with the Control Z. Okay, let me go ahead and delete that. Paste it. Okay, let's go ahead and remove this. Add a space there. And then Shift Tab to the indent. Okay, and let's go ahead and adjust that. There we go. Okay, my name has, let's go with something like Water Pulse. Water Pulse. Okay, health, health, attack, attack. Okay, perfect. Okay, stop hating. Guys, was someone hating? Falling for rage bait. Okay, annoying him, let him go, bro. Okay, guys, honestly, I think I didn't understand it. Guys, I feel like I didn't understand the hate. Okay, that said, let's go all the way down with the instructions. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and end my class with a semicolon as well. Okay, and then I gotta create my final derived class called Steam, but this time my Steam class does inherit from both my Fire Creatures class and my Water Creatures class. So I'm going to create another class called Steam Creatures. So I'm going to go with something like Steam, Steam Creature. Okay, and then I'll add a pair of curly actually before I add a pair of curly braces, my Steam Creatures class does, let's say, inherit all the public content. Should I go with virtual? I forgot. Let me think. Let's go with something like does inherit all the public content from my creature class. Okay, and all the public content from my, let's say, honestly, I'll go with fire creature class. So let's go with something like fire creature class and all the public content from my water creature class to water creature class. And then I'll add a pair of curly braces. Okay, and then inside of my stream creature, should I go with virtual and public? Okay, make AI creature. Make a air creature. Honestly, I feel like steam creature is the same as air creature. Okay, okay, bro, slow down a little bit. Oh, okay, I think I do go a little quick. Let me slow down. Damn, bro, what's your age? You have my respect for coding a game. Honestly, I do appreciate you. That's it, I am 17, although I am going to turn 18 really soon, guys. Okay, that said, slow down a bit. I should actually slow down a little. Okay, so inside of my class, I'm going to do something. Let's go ahead and firstly publicize everything, and then I'll add a comment that says something like constructor, because I will be creating a constructor. And then inside of my constructor, let's see, I could go with, let's say, a constructor from my Steam Creatures class. With a pair of parentheses, my Stream Creatures class does require a few parameters. It requires a standard string of name parameter, okay, and then something like integer of attack parameter, and let's say something like an integer of health parameter. Okay, and then I'm going to go with a pair of, actually I'll go in a new line, add a colon, and inherit from the class that, what you would call it, and add constructors for the class that I'm inheriting from. Okay, I'm not rage baiting him, I'm rage baiting you guys, and you're obviously falling for it. Guys, I didn't even know that there was like a rage bait going on. Okay, that's that. Let's go ahead and create a constructor for my creature class. The reason I am creating a constructor from my creature class is because my fire creature class and my water creature class that is being inherited by my stream creature class does inherit from my actual creature class, if that made any sense, guys. I think I made that sound really vague. That said, I'll need a parameter of name, attack, and let's go with something like health. And then I'll go ahead and add a comma and create another, let's say, constructor from my fire creature class. Okay, maybe I go in a new line so like you guys can see as well. There we go. Okay, so my fire creature class does require 3 data members as well. First is name, second is going to be something like attack, and the third is going to be something like health. And then I'll go with a comma and create, this is going to be a comma. There we go. And then let's go ahead and create our final constructor for our water creature class. So I'll go with something like water creatures as constructor. Does require 3 parameters, the name, attack, and health as well. And then I'll go with a pair of curly braces ending with a semicolon. Okay, that's pretty much it for my constructor. Now let's go ahead and add a few methods. For my methods, I'm going to be creating a void method called something like display info with a pair of parentheses and then a pair of curly braces. Okay, before I go with curly braces, I will use the override keyword because my display info method does override everything. Okay, display power. There we go. Okay, see you tomorrow. Gotta go now. Honestly, I do appreciate you for sticking through the stream. I'll catch you in the next stream. Okay, goddamn from 21. You have more coding language than me. All the best with the game, and I know you're doing good progress. Honestly, I do appreciate you. Uni, that actually means the world to me. That said, guys, I feel like I am a beginner, although you guys do help me a lot, and I feel like, eventually in the future, I will like actually make a lot of tutorial videos too, guys, because like many of you guys do ask me to like actually make tutorial videos for C++. The reason I don't make the videos is because I am a complete beginner in C++. That said, eventually I do want to actually start making them. Okay, that said, I'm gonna go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. Do you have you define all methods from the class you're inheriting from? Honestly, yeah. Like for example, if I like the classes that we inherit from, let me just zoom out a bit. Okay, we must have the constructors from the classes that we inherit from. For example, first I added my base class, like my derived class, my main class, and then after that we add a colon and then add the constructor for all the classes that we're inheriting from. Since I'm inheriting from my fire creature class and my water creature class, I do gotta add their constructors, although I did add my creature class's constructor as well, because my water creature class and my fire creature class does inherit from that class. So it's like a diamond. One class inherits, actually two classes inherit from one class, and then that the bottom one class inherits from those two classes. So it's like considered a diamond problem, if that made any sense, guys. Okay, you could try checking out tutorials or take inspiration from code of other lightweight engines. Honestly, that does make sense. That's it. I feel like for some reason tutorials don't help me. I feel they just like confuse me even more because they are pretty vague. I do like doing a lot of practice to like learn. That said, this is gonna say something. Just to save time, I honestly might copy the standard console output from here. Okay, I'm gonna copy that and let's go ahead and paste it right here. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and delete that, de-indent. Okay, perfect. I think that's pretty good. Okay, let's go all the way there. Okay, if I had a standard console output, should I go here? Oh wait, hold up. Let me go with a bunch of Control C's. Okay, so I had a standard console output. My insertion operators are here. Guys, I like the looks a little too much for this. There we go. Okay, perfect. So okay, now they're pretty aligned and proportional. Standard console output. Let's go ahead and delete that, delete that, delete that. Okay, and then I don't add an extra space here. There we go. Maybe remove that space too. Okay, perfect. I think that looks much better. I don't know why did the editor like, add spaces for me. I didn't want to add spaces like that. Okay, I think this is pretty much good enough. Okay, next up, I gotta add +5 attack and +10 health. So when I go ahead and inherit from my classes, for my fire creature, okay, constructor must call creature constructors directly. Fire and water adds 5, so I'm gonna go with something like +5 attack, so I'm gonna go with something like attack +5, health +10, so I'm gonna go with something like +10. There we go. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same thing down here. I'll go with something like +5 attack and +10 health. Okay, perfect. And that's honestly pretty much it for my final class as well. Okay, if you don't define a method in the child class which is present in both parent classes, which one gets called? If you don't define a method in the child class, honestly, if I don't define a method in the child class and I do explicitly call that method in the main function, the method from the parent class is going to be called, unless I have a pure virtual method that basically is equal to 0. This gives us an error because when we add a pure virtual method, we are forced to override the method inside of the classes that inherits from my base class. If that made any sense, guys. Okay, that's it. Later you could try writing a 3D engine in live once you get a hang of it, guys. That was actually the plan. I'm like really excited to like use engines. That sounds pretty fun. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and create a main function. So I'll go with something like integer main, add a prof parentheses, and then a prof curly braces. Your knowledge could make an extremely simple engine, but it needs libraries to work and compile. Oh, I see. I could actually try that. Okay, that's let's check if my... Oh, guys, I honestly forgot to check if my kick stream was good. Did we get any kick chats today? I don't think so, guys. Okay, that's it. Inside of my main function, I gotta ask the user how many creatures they want to create. So I'm gonna go ahead and create an integer of ask variable ending with a semicolon. And then let's add a standard console output with an insertion operator. Makes sense. Gotta go by. Honestly, I do appreciate you sticking through the stream. Shri, I'll get you next stream. Okay, that's it. This is gonna say something like enter or how many creatures. I'll go with something like how many creatures do you want to create? Question mark. There we go. How many creatures do you want to create? I'm going to go ahead and end that with a semicolon, and then add a standard console input with an extraction operator that extracts my ask variable ending with a semicolon. Okay, and then let's see, next up, I got a, whatchamacallit, ask the user how many creatures they want to create, show fire, water, and steam options. Without libraries, your code will be useless as in not working. Oh, I see. I should actually learn about libraries as well in that case. Okay, that said, let's go ahead and add a while loop. I'm assuming before I add a while loop, I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is gonna say something, so let's go ahead and add a pair of double quotes with 3 hyphens that say something like creatures available. Okay, creatures available. Did I spell it correct? There we go. With a / new line, actually I'll go with 3 more hyphens and then a / new line ending with a semicolon. That is going to be a lowercase n. Okay, and then these are the creatures that I'm going to say is available. I might go with a standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like the first creature is going to be something like fire creature. Honestly, I'll go with something like fire. Excuse me again, guys. I might go with something like fire, water, okay, and excuse me again, guys. Okay, so I'll go with fire creature, water creature, and let's say steam creature. Okay, let's go with something like steam with a / new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, and then let's see, I'm going to be adding a while loop now, so I'll go with something like while, a pair of parentheses, and then a pair of curly braces. Now, inside of my while loop, I'm going to do something. While my ask variable is greater than 0, which it will be once my user enters a value, I'm going to do something. I'm going to be creating a standard string variable. Okay, so I'll go with something like a standard string. Okay, here's the thing, guys. Honestly, I think I want to use a for loop this time for asking the user. I did use a while loop last time. I'll use a for loop. I'll go with something like for every integer of I which equals to 0, while my I is less than 0, I'm going to do something. While my ask for every integer of I which equals to 0, while my ask variable for every integer of ask which equals to 0, while my ask is, let's say, guys, I forgot how to do this with a for loop. Hold up, let me think. Okay, I think first the user enters. I might not need this because we use this for while loops. For my for loop, I go with for every integer of I which equals to 0, while my I, let's say, while my I is greater than, let's see, while my I is greater than, how many creatures do you want to create? That is asked. Okay, while my I is greater than ask. Okay, actually less than ask. Okay, because I is 0. My I is currently set to 0. While my I is less than my ask. I'm going to do this. Oh, I see. Okay, this does make sense. Okay, and then I'll go with the pair of curly braces. I'm going to increment my I by 1. So I'll go with something like I++. Okay, so let's read what this says. For every integer of I which equals to 0, while my I, which is currently 0, while 0 is less than ask, I think I should go with greater than. While 0 is greater than my ask, I think less than makes sense. Okay, while 0 is less than 3, I'm going to do something, and then while 0 is less than 2, I'm going to do something, while 0 is less than. Okay, while 1 is less than 3. Oh, okay, this makes sense, guys. Okay, I had to rethink that, guys. Give me a check. There we go. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and do something. I'm going to be adding a standard string variable called something like name ending with a semicolon. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create a standard string of name ending with a semicolon. And then let's add a standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like enter a name. Okay, I'll go with something like enter a name. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to end that with a semicolon, and then this time I'll go with a standard console input with an extraction operator that extracts my name data member ending with a semicolon. Okay, perfect. And then next up, let's see, once something is like entered, I do want to create, let's say, an array. Okay, let me go ahead and create an array. Maybe I create that under my ask, or I think, yeah, under my ask makes sense. Okay, does your country celebrate Halloween? Honestly, I feel like yeah, they do. I mean, currently, whatchamacallit, I don't have any plans for Halloween. That said, guys, I did like whatchamacallit. I might actually not go for trick or treat because I've never celebrated Halloween because like I rarely even celebrate any kind of festivals, guys. I feel like I should celebrate more festivals. Okay, the reason could be because I have less time. Okay, that's it. Let's go ahead and create a creature class as object. So I'll go with something like creature. This is going to be a pointer for my creatures array, which is going to be consisting of my ask number of variables or an ask number of items. I'll go with something like creatures. There we go. I think I'm spelling it wrong. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to go ahead and end my array with a semicolon. And then inside of my while loop, inside my for loop, I'm going to call my creatures as array at index of I, okay, equals to, let's go with something like my name ending with a semicolon. Okay, perfect. Should it be? Oh wait, it shouldn't be my name. Okay, I might actually add this in a bit. Before that, I'll go with something like if add a pair of parentheses. I'm gonna do something. Guys, is my stream lagging? I don't think it's lagging. Okay, I think it's not lagging. That's it, guys. I should fix like my background. I feel like these whatchamacallit, I have like a few curtains in my background. This was like a bedsheet. It does make the stream look a little weird. Okay, that said, I'm gonna go with something like if my name equals to fire, I'm gonna do something. Okay, I'll go with a pair of curly braces. And then let's go ahead and append something. So I'm gonna go with something like my creatures is array at index of 0 equals to should I go with that index of I? I think I should go with at index of I. My array at index of I equals to my fire creatures object, my fire creatures class. Okay, and then I'll add a pair of parentheses. I need a few parameters. So what other parameters do I need? I need a name, attack, and health parameter. Okay, my name is going to be something like Charizard. Okay, and then I'm gonna go with something like attack, which is gonna be something like, I don't know, maybe 20. Health is gonna be something like 50. Okay, why do I get like a small error? Oh, okay, I need to create a memory address. So let's go with something like new fire creature. That gives me a memory address. And then I'm gonna go ahead and end this with a semicolon. And now let's add an else if. So I'll go with something like else if, a pair of parentheses, else if my name variable equals to, let's go with something like maybe water. Okay, I'll go with the pair of curly braces. So hold up, guys, there we go. I'll go with the pair of curly braces. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do something like my creatures at index of I equals to, let's say something like a new, so a memory address of my water creature. Okay, with a pair of parentheses, my water creature is going to be called Blastoise. There we go. And Blastoise, let's say, has something like 35 HP, or actually, let's say something like 15 attack and 75 HP. And then I'm going to go ahead and end that with a semicolon. This is going to be my creatures array. There we go. Okay, and then let's go with another else if. So I'll go with else if, add a pair of parentheses. Actually, a pair of parentheses. Else if my name equals to, let's go with something like Steam. Okay, I'm going to go with a pair of curly braces and then do something. I'll go with something like my creatures array at index of I equals to, let's go with something like my new Steam creature with a pair of parentheses. My Steam creature's name is going to be something like Gas. Gas has, let's say, something like 10 damage, although Gas has something like, let's say, 50 HP. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and end that with a semicolon as well. Lastly, I'll go with an else clause. Okay, I'll go with else, a pair of curly braces that says something like a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is gonna say something like enter a val, or actually that character or that creature is not on stock. Okay, with a /new line ending with a semicolon, and then I'll add another standard console output with an insertion operator. I think no, I appreciate you joining the stream. Also, you could experiment with 2D plus C++ for them work, but for a simpler environment, use Pygame for Python. Honestly, I did have like about 50 streams on Pygame in my channel because like the game that I did make in Python, like I had like a Python for 100 series, where the goal by the end of that series was to make a game in general. I did make like a 470 lines code game. That said, that was kind of fun. I had a like buff system, health bar system, attack system, potion system, meat system, and even like levels. Actually, no, I don't think I had a levels, guys. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna go with something like attempts left, colon here with an insertion operator. This is going to be my ask variable with another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, and that's honestly pretty much it. Okay, when I do create a class, I want to go with something like creature that index of I. Okay, I did actually do that. Okay, I might go with something like a standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like my name. Okay, so I'll go with something like name. Hold up, guys. Let me actually delete this from here. Let's add it here. I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator that says my name data member with another insertion operator has been added. There we go. Exclamation with a / new line ending with a semicolon. I honestly might copy this to save time and like paste it here. And lastly, paste it here as well. Okay, perfect. Okay, what's your final goal? Are you building a game or just learning? Honestly, my final goal by the end of my programming for 250 series is to make a game in general which consists of AI logic this time. That said, hi bro, I followed you on Instagram, also your Twitter, also GitHub. I appreciate you, Pixel, that actually means the world to me. Okay, that said, after I go with an else clause, let's read the next instruction. For each creature, ask water, fire, ask for a name, create a new object dynamically using new vector. Okay, after creation, print creature inventory, call the display. Okay, wait, I should explicitly ask for a name. Okay, so let's see. So ask for a name. Ask for a name. Okay, since I am going to be asking for a name, I might actually if name equals to fire. Okay, I think it's correct. Bro, what are you building? Honestly, I'm just learning the basics of C++. That's it. Today, my topic, I am going over pure virtual function in C++. That's it. I think this is pretty much it. Let's go ahead and exit my while loop now, or my for loop. I'm going to do something. What up, guys? I use a for loop here to do that. Okay, now I'll add another index-based for loop. So I'll go with something like for every integer of I which equals to 0. While my I is, let's say, something like less than my ask variable, which is my array's size, I'm going to increment my ask by 1, or I'm going to increment my I by 1. And then I'll go with something like my creatures as array at index of I is going to be displaying or pointing towards the display powers method using the arrow operator, ending with a semicolon. And then I'm going to copy my for loop and paste it here again. This time, instead of displaying my power, I'm going to use the delete keyword. So I'll go with something like delete. There we go. Okay, delete my creatures array. Lastly, I'm going to go ahead and return 0, ending with a semicolon. Now, if I did control us to save the code, bro, you know Hindi. Honestly, I do know like how to speak Hindi, although I'm not that fluent in it. That said, I can't actually read it. And guys, why does like a separate window always open? When I cancel the window, that's when it opens in my compiler. Does that like happen with you guys as well? How many creatures you want to create? I want to create, let's say, 4 creatures. Creatures available: water, steam, water, fire, water, and stream. Let's say I want to create a fire creature. Fire has been added. I'll go with something like water. Water has been added, and then I want to go with something like steam. Steam has been added. What if I go with something like mist? Okay, that creature is not on stock. Attempts left 4. Okay, Charizard stats. Okay, perfect. That's honestly pretty much it. That said, let's go with the controller. Control C, copy the code. Let's get Sensei / ChatGPT here. Maybe extend it, guys. I wish that this could like be done automatically. Although I gotta always manually do this stuff, guys. Gets kind of annoying or tedious. That said, let's go ahead and paste these here. Go with Shift Enter and say something like Sensei. Okay, I'm done! Exclamation. Okay, let's see. Okay, howdy, Urban. I appreciate you joining the stream. People, I see what you tried to do, but this is a mess. Don't panic. I'll break it down so you understand what's going on. Problem creature array. You declared an array before reading the value of ask from the user. C++ does not allow variable lengths like array. Okay, this must be a constant speed. you need to dynamically allocate a vector, creatures, okay, or creature with two. I haven't learned about the two asterisks. Okay, I see. Uh, okay, you've got the skeleton of the code, but it would have crashed if ASCII is greater than 0 because the array size. Okay, honestly, guys, I might actually like work on this next stream now because I do gotta end the stream because I do have a college assignment and an exam next week. That said, let me say something like, say I see dot dot dot. Although I was planning to end the stream right now because I do have a lot of college stuff to do. That said, is there anything that you want to say to the viewers before I end the stream? Question mark. Okay, let's see. You know Python, bro. Honestly, I did like have a whole 100 series for Python. That's it. Listen up, viewers. Your pupil today dove headfirst into pure virtual function, multiple inheritance, and dynamic memory like a true warrior. Today we learned that C++ doesn't forgive carelessness, pointers, and that virtual is not just a fancy word, it's power. Remember this. The code you fear to break is the code that you fear to master. I don't think that since they created this quote. That's it. Go home, study, and keep pushing your limits. College assignments won't finish themselves, but this pupil will return stronger, and next stream will crush that creature shop monster. Head pats, kisses, and a big virtual hug for my hardworking people, guys, at the top make me blush. That's it. Stream ends, but the grind never stops. Okay, that's it. Let me go to my main camera. All the way there. Alright, you guys, so that's pretty much it for the stream. That's it. I didn't want to stream for longer, although I can actually, stream for longer because I do have like a lot of college assignments. That's an exam as well next week. So if you guys did enjoy the stream, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, like, helps with my algorithm sharing, makes me smile, and subscribing is like a cherry on top. And guys, I did start, like, since I didn't get my PC, I will be uploading that video of me actually building the PC. That said, I did start multi-streaming on Kick, vertically and horizontally on YouTube because many of you guys did ask me that. And I will be starting to, like, stream on Twitch as well, like, once there's like some server issues with Twitch, so I can't log in into Twitch. That said, once that does happen, I will start multi-streaming on Twitch, Kick, YouTube, maybe TikTok and Instagram as well if I did meet the followers requirement. So if you guys do enjoy my content and haven't followed me there, make sure to follow me there. That's so you guys can get access to my socials by typing exclamation and the social name in chat. For some reason, Nightbot isn't working properly. I might have to restart that whole thing. That said, also join the Discord server. You guys can get access to the Discord server by typing exclamation Discord on chat, and also the link is in the description. And it's not like you only pin comments. That said, I'll catch you guys in the next live stream or video. Peace. Okay, now let's end the stream.